afternoon and 55. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Learn to make money 5 ways with rental real estate. Double your money with apartments. And get your map to financial freedom. And that map starts with a free workshop. Sign up now at lifestylesunlimited.com. Click on the Join Free Workshop tab and attend online or in person. That's lifestylesunlimited.com. Lifestylesunlimited.com. Again, that's lifestylesunlimited.com. Limited seating, unlimited potential.
With each breath, allergens, germs, and viruses get trapped in your nose. Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage. Available at Navage.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
When companies decide to take shortcuts, the safety of our families are at risk. At Underlaw, we find and expose those shortcuts.
Call Underlaw Personal Injury Lawyers at 314 or 618 $9 million.
Aircomfortservice.com. If you are looking for somebody to do the maintenance on your furnace, commercial or residential, so if it's in your house and it's not heating correctly, you need to have Air Comfort Service come out and check it out for you. Getting it fixed as soon as possible can keep you from leading to more costly repairs down the road. Here's the number to call, 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. Corey Malone and the entire staff at Air Comfort Service are top notch. If you care about quality, if you don't want to mess around with people who aren't going to show or people who are going to, not give it to you straight, they're going to take care of your needs. They're going to do it with integrity, with great staff that are going to come to your home and take care of it and respect it. It's been my case every time I've been a customer of Air Comfort Service, and I have been a customer of them quite a bit. I have replaced pretty much all of the HVAC system in my house because I have been able to connect with Air Comfort Service, and they gave me the advice that I needed to make the right decision for my home. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
You need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
It's Friday, and we are so happy that you're here with us on 97.1 FM Talk. Just another, casual Friday where we have Chinese spy balloons flying over the country. Welcome back. You are here on the timeline.
No big. Didn't have that one on my bingo card.
I'm watching the news last night. No, actually, let's start with the partial exciting news for today. And that's kind of how I got into not sleeping last night and trying to figure out what in the world's going on with this Chinese spy balloon. I relaunched today the Pixie Dust podcast for people who might be interested in planning a Disney vacation in the future. I have in the past, pre-COVID, and then just after COVID, I do a podcast, and it's about helping people plan for Disney. It's called the Pixie Dust Podcast. And if you go to the Odyssey app, you can put Pixie Dust Podcast in there and follow it. We recorded an episode of that. So normally when I'm spending my time, checking in on Fox News, getting everything put together for the evening, and if there's any big news, we haven't really had any major primetime news lately. There's a lot of news to talk about, but you can kind of dip into the primetime shows and see what your favorite primetime show person has to say about what took place that day. And I'm like completely saturated in talking about planning summer vacations in the most magical place on earth. And they're like, Chinese spy balloon over Montana. I'm like, what? I give 2 hours outside of news coverage and Chinese spy balloons over Montana. And I thought, of all places, Montana might be the right place to take care of it. Anybody watch Yellowstone in here?
I saw
no.
your tweet and figured that had something to do with Montana.
Have
I
none of you?
I just need to watch it. No, I haven't.
I have not.
What is the matter with you?
I tried.
Many
It's
things.
too hard
I tried.
to find.
You tried?
I don't like dramas very much. And it's just drama.
It's different than not liking drama.
It's not.
You
I
don't
don't
like
like
dramas.
dramas. I don't.
You like to be the drama, not watch the drama.
I appreciate the landscapes. It's very beautiful.
I want to watch it.
It's-
Dutton? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, they're going to be children named Dutton
You're right.
coming here real fast. That and Beth.
Who is the couple? It's the younger guy and then his wife. I think she has
Casey?
red hair, or is it blonde?
Oh, are you talking
She's real sassy.
Beth?
Beth.
Yeah.
I feel like that's you and Ryan's relationship.
Oh, I'm Beth?
No.
And I'm Dutton?
Ryan's Beth, and you're the other one. And like
Wait.
you walk into the studio and you're like,
Ryan-
Ryan's standing there and he's like, I don't have time for you today.
So it's a character who either has blonde hair or red hair or is a brunette.
Stop. Are you saying I'm Rip Wheeler?
I don't know. I might be insulting you because I've never watched the show. I've just seen that clip of him
No.
walking out the barn.
Rip is the coolest one on the whole show.
Well, yeah. Okay, then.
He's also
Definitely.
really B.A.
Yeah, I'm definitely calling you Rip Wheeler.
Beth is I have a Beth ability that I try to keep at bay. This has nothing to do with the Chinese spy balloon. Regardless, what the heck is going on? I mean, honestly, what's going on? It's just unsettling to me. They're talking about why they aren't shooting it down. And I'm like, well, I'm thinking, obviously you would shoot this thing down. And then they're like, we're not going to shoot it down. And I'm like, well, why would we not shoot it down? And then you listen to, if you weren't able to hear it at 11 o'clock, they did a whole press conference. They did a whole press conference where they came out and asked questions. And the response was, we're not going to provide surveillance, or we're not going to provide information on the surveillance that we have on this. It is not a threat. It is not I think they said physical threat to anyone in the United States. I'm like, I don't like the definition of threat there, because of course it's a threat to the United States. It's a provocation. Of course it is a provocation. You think the United States is going to be willy-nilly flying balloons over China, and China's going to be like, oh, those Yankees. That's not happening. Of course it's ridiculous. Well, let's get to Jennifer Griffin here on Fox News and listen to what she has to say.
Is moving eastward across the continental United States. So it is maneuverable, we're told. That means that someone is controlling it. There is some degree of wind that is moving it eastward. But the real question is, right now we are being given assurances by Pentagon officials that it poses no threat to anyone on the ground and is not capable of surveilling as it goes. But the question is, what happens when it gets, it continues over population centers? What if something goes wrong? It still has what is being described to us as a payload underneath of heavy equipment. So a lot of questions, frustrating not to be able to get on the record answers, somewhat understandable. This is a spy balloon. And so a lot of the information is classified, and the U.S. government doesn't want to give away to the Chinese exactly what it knows and how it knows it. So they're walking this very, very difficult line, but it is, I think the most interesting thing that I've learned in the last 24 hours is that there was a serious consideration about shooting the balloon down. The problem is it's not just a balloon. It's the size of 2 to 3 buses, and it has a very heavy equipment underneath. And while it may have been over Montana, which is relatively sparsely populated, the consideration was, what happens if this lands on a kindergarten, on a school, on a population center? They couldn't mitigate that. And because of the height, it would be coming down at a meteoric speed, and the debris field would be large enough that they couldn't take that chance.
Yeah, that makes it sound a little bit like it could be a danger to people on the ground underneath the Chinese spy balloon. I have a theory. It's China returning Hunter Biden's classified documents.
Ooh, we'll see.
Sneak them in. Drop them in one of his backyards. And here's the thing. They were supposed to go to the one location, but they're like, the FBI is there. Go to the other one. Go to the other one. So they changed course, and now they're trying to find a place where the FBI isn't looking for classified documents from Biden.
Much like Hunter Biden's other covert
that's
activities.
Only in fact.
I would say that if this was also intended to be covert, it has failed. We all see it it's the size of 3 buses.
Mike Pompeo tweeted out within the hour, when we realized the CCP was spying on Americans from their consulate in Houston, we shut it down. The Biden administration's weakness is provocative. Xi Jinping and the CCP are growing bolder because of it. Shoot down the CCP's balloon safely and demand answers from Xi. I'm like, yeah, you go, Pompeo, but maybe not Biden. I don't know that I said to a friend who I was talking back and forth who knows things, and I said this would be way less intimidating if I felt like President Biden wasn't taking a nap right now. And then as I was driving and thinking about that, I'm like, maybe it's better if he is. But then that's not, I mean, then who?
Yeah.
Is Kamala Harris in there running the ship? I mean, every way you pivot and look at this, you're like, we're screwed.
I also, it's hard to believe that they would not shoot this down because they don't want to hit a kindergarten. It's over Montana.
Well, it's not over Montana anymore.
Well, it was when they found out about it.
Yeah, it was over nuclear silos. And I don't think you can listen to anything that they're telling the public.
Right.
Everything they're telling the public, they're saying directly to China. We're just the catalyst to responding to China. They're asking questions about, what do we know about it? How are we surveilling this thing? Is it maneuverable? Yes, it's maneuverable. Can it go up and down, left and right? What are the different things that it can maneuver? What do we think the intent is? Is this the first time there's been a Chinese spy balloon over the continental United States? Question. And the response is, and the guy did a great job of calmly, not being like, I would, as a mom, when my kid asks me for a cookie again, for the 100th time, no! He's like, well, we've decided that we are not going to get into any of the intelligence that we have on this. We are tracking it. NORAD is following the balloon. It is over the central United States, and we will update with information accordingly. And then he says it again and again and again and again. Like, I'd lose my mind.
Yeah. The thing about so initially you're like, let's shoot it down. But then the more you stop and you think about, okay, so there is the concern that it could fall on a kindergarten, which, under the Biden administration, the way things have been going, even I just feel like that's a distinct possibility, but
we don't know what's on this thing.
Right.
They know what's on this thing.
Right. I mean, the other thing is too, Jennifer Griffin talked about it. There's somebody controlling it, which means there's a signal coming out of it, which maybe they've hacked that signal and they're just intercepting everything that's coming out of this balloon, and they're gathering intelligence data on the Chinese as they go. I mean,
as I said to you before the show, Brad, everything that I want an answer to, they should not be telling me publicly, because then they're telling everybody publicly, which is why I say everything that comes out of the administration right now is a comment for China to hear.
Exactly.
And while you're sitting here going, I demand answers, we demand answers, this is really where the rubber meets the road. And regardless of if you voted for the guy or the girl or not, you want to be able to say, they got this. Like, of course, they're going to have the best interests of the United States at heart. And if you look at the administration right now and the cabinet and you think that they're looking for some mutual demise of the United States, I don't think that they're doing that. But I also think they've been asleep at the wheel too long, because they've been focusing on stupid social agendas that don't actually have any sort of productivity at the end of them. That these types of things happen when you present weakness as your MO on a global scale. Remember when President Trump was running for office and he was running to be the president, and they started talking about the global crises that would take place should he become the president of the United States. He was the president of the United States. We did not have global crises. And name an area of the world right now that is doing better because Joe Biden is the president of the United States. I'll wait. I have till 3. It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing.
It also makes you question, what is the end game here? Because how does this end? I mean, I agree. I don't think they should just tell us, especially with your scenario, which is very plausible, that they're actually using this to mine data on the Chinese. And what are they doing? I get that. But then eventually, what do? Just let it float right out back into the Atlantic Ocean?
No. Charlie on YouTube has an idea. He says if it's a balloon, just poke a hole in it and let it float down.
They didn't think of that. Shoot it with a BB gun.
Wouldn't it be great if it were a balloon animal?
It was a balloon shaped like 3 buses.
What's the movie? I can make a pterodactyl. What's that? I can make a this, I can make a that, I can make a pterodactyl. Somebody knows. Doesn't sound familiar at all?
No.
Okay. I don't even know what
Sounds
to
like
Google.
something out of the show Yellowstone, which I have not seen.
Definitely not that.
Yellowstone
might be like above your pay grade, Ryan.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm a very, very
I can make a
simple-minded
brooch.
person, is what you're saying.
I can make a brooch. I can make a something. I can make a pterodactyl. Somebody in my family knows this because this is
This is all internal conversation.
Airplane?
No,
you said airplane.
Airplane? Is it from Airplane? Yes. Thank you, Tony.
Really?
I was gonna say this is gonna end up being from a home video. Do you ever have those things like in your family, like you've watched the same home video
Yes.
all the time, and then all of a sudden there's like a phrase that comes at a certain moment, and you just remember that phrase?
Yes.
Guppy, guppy, go home.
Okay.
That one's for you.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Airplane. I can make. Yeah.
I had that same moment the other day when we were talking about trying to put the green screen up behind you again at some point, and you kept using the word pop-up. We used to call our dog a pop-up because it would put its little head up on the couch, and we'd be like, oh, it's a pop-up.
Okay.
It was one of those.
Too.
Yeah.
Man, this is a great segment. And then we're like, let's all tell our own personal inside jokes that nobody in the
else
room even
understands.
knows. There's 7 people in St. Louis right now. They're like, aw. Hi, guys. Waving to you. From
Thanks for
London.
Thank
listening.
you. Biggest fans.
It's so stupid. They're Chinese spy balloons,
Yeah.
and we're telling our families inside jokes. The exciting thing, at least for us here on the Annie Frey Show, is Dakota Wood is going to be with us when we come back, because boy, do we have a lot of questions. And pretty much, I'm just going to be honest, when something like this is going on, I'm looking for somebody who can provide a little bit of assurance that the right people are guiding the ship on this scenario. I don't really have that confidence right now. Dakota may provide us that. He may not. But we'll get some real factual information from Dakota Wood when we come back here. So do not go away. We've been teasing a big announcement for the Annie Frey Show, and it's going to happen here on the show in the 105 segment. So you're going to want to make sure you join us. Please come say hi on the YouTube live chat. Today's YouTube live chat poll. Real quick, I'm going to poll the internal audience here. Which show member would you most enjoy sitting next to on a roller coaster? Don't say who, but do you guys have a definitive response to who you think would absolutely should win this poll?
I think I know who's gonna win the poll,
Yeah,
but
I
I don't
think
know
so.
if I agree with it.
Shots fired.
Do
you?
I have a definitive answer.
Okay.
As long as my memory's correct.
All right. Well, we will we'll get to that poll question at 2:45 with your results, but you need to go right now and vote. Which show member would you most enjoy sitting next to on a roller coaster? Hannah, Annie, Ryan, or Brad? When we return, Senior Research Fellow for Defense Programs at the Heritage Foundation, an actual expert on these types of things like Chinese spy balloons, Dakota Wood, in a minute. Don't go away.
Download Upside and start getting cash back wherever you roll. It's like having your own hype man. Get an average of 17% cash back at restaurants.
Oh, it's dinner time.
Average of 13% on groceries.
Get those groceries.
10 cents per gallon average cash back on gas.
It's go time.
Plus, cash back at participating convenience stores too.
Stacks on stacks.
Users can earn hundreds of dollars a year, 3 times more than other apps.
Upside, show me that money.
All right, we get it. It's easy. Just sign up for the free Upside app and start getting cash back for doing you. Download the free Upside app and use promo code DOYOU for an extra $10 cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. That's promo code DOYOU for an extra $10 on the free Upside app. Get cash back for doing you with the free app from Upside.
So igotflooring.com is the website to shop Michael's Flooring Outlet. When you are looking for flooring for your home, you often have an idea of what you want to look like. You probably, if you're like me, maybe you have looked through Instagram or Pinterest. Do people still use Pinterest? I do for home projects like this. And you get an idea of what you want it to look and feel like. But there's a whole different element to what kind of technology goes into that flooring. How is it going to live up to the kind of lifestyle that you live on that flooring? Do you have pets? Do you have cats? Do you have dogs? Do you have little kids or grandkids that are going to be running around on that flooring? And of course, you love them and you don't want to be spending all of your time yelling at them because they're just living life on that flooring. Well, you go to Michael's Flooring Outlet and you talk to the sales staff there. You say, this is what I'm trying to look for. And then they help you navigate that whole process. And if you are looking and prioritizing value in the midst of all of that, Michael's Flooring Outlet is your destination. I can save you some time shopping elsewhere for flooring, but Michael's doesn't mind if you check out other places. They're going to feel like they can give you even more of a value when you can compare to other areas in St. Louis. You shop local, you shop with a family-owned business at Michael's Flooring Outlet, and you get a great deal with a great product. You can find them online at igotfloored.com.
Have you been lied to by Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine? Hi, this is best-selling author Don Chamberlain from right here in Greater St. Louis, and I want to give you a copy of my new book, Crash Proof Wealth, because according to Time magazine, Wall Street's retirement plans and 401ks and IRAs have failed millions of Americans. After seeing the last market crash over 39%, I had enough. There may be a way to grow your money when the market goes up, potentially double digits in good years, reduce taxes, and have my principal protected if the market declines again. Call Chamberlain Group now to get my free book and talk to me personally to discover the strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose principal if the market declines again. Call 1-800-807-3838 to discover this asset, and I'll even cover shipping and handling. No credit card required. Call 1-800-807-3838. That's 1-800-807-3838. Again, 1-800-807-3838.
SSM Health welcomes the St. Louis Golf Expo February 3rd through the 5th at St. Charles Convention Center. Get bonus golf and pro tour tickets while they last. Shop 70 exhibits, get lessons, savor beer and cocktails. VIP tickets at stlgolfexpo.com.
The State of the Union is Tuesday night, and you can hear the whole thing right here on 97.1. It all happens live at 8 o'clock our time. The State of the Union. Live from Capitol Hill this Tuesday night on 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
I hold on so nervously to me and my drink. I wish it was cooling me, but so far has not been good. It's been shitty, and I feel awkward as I should. This club has got to be the most pretentious thing since I thought of you and me. Well, I am imagining a dark lit place, or your place, or my place. Well, I'm not there.
And what's up with Trudeau? Is he spaced out? He didn't give us a little warning that the Chinese are flying spy balloons across his territory?
Yeah, little surprised by that too. I hope it's that they did, and that wasn't reported, as opposed to them not knowing and not saying anything. But I guess the fact that we tracked it coming over the Aleutian Islands, apparently we were aware of it. But I gotta agree with you there. I mean, look, that if we were worried about any ground clutter, I mean, we could have, knowing where the thing is, we could have tracked and cleared the ground there and then knocked it down if we wanted to. So I'm not sure what we think we gained, but I probably would have done with you. I probably would have popped it.
So Lieutenant Colonel Danny Davis, he said it probably would have popped it. I guess there are ways you can do that. And I don't even need to know the details. Just want to feel as though our country has their hands firmly at 10-2 on the wheel. Except for maybe, is it 9-3 now? Did they change that?
Oh, please don't say that. It's always been 10-2.
Yeah, kids these days. We're following the reports from Jennifer Griffin and the news conference that just came through with the Chinese spy balloon. And we have lots of questions. It's still floating over the United States of America, which is why we bring in an expert to answer all of the questions, or at least maybe question with us what the heck is going on. Dakota Wood, our friend and senior research fellow for defense programs at the Heritage Foundation. Dakota, thanks for being here today.
It's always great to be with you. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. We appreciate you. Can I just give you the floor and ask you what is going on and what are your concerns right now?
Well, before the age of people on the ground being able to see very high altitude stuff, nobody would have known about this, right? It would have been something the military handled. And balloons have been used literally for centuries, but especially during the Cold War, and later. These things are around 50, 60, 70,000 feet in altitude. They move slow. They kind of disappear in the background because surveillance sorts of things are looking for differences. Either something is moving very fast against the background, it's hard against something soft like, a metal object in the ocean or whatever, or there's a heat difference. It's hot or it's cold relative to what you would see in the background. That's how you pick things up. So balloons are awesome, and that they have the same basic temperature. They're very transparent in terms of an electromagnetic energy sort of thing. They're moving pretty slow. So there's no real radar signature and all that. And so even in the age of satellites and spy planes and everything else, balloons have a real capacity for carrying large packages of things. So it's not surprising that a country like China would be using this. They've used it over Taiwan and Japan. As some of these press briefings have talked about, there have been incursions into U.S. airspace over the past few years. But this one, because of observations from civilians on commercial aircraft and then ground observers with telescopes and those sorts of things, have plucked it out, and it forced the government to really address this in public settings. So that's kind of some background to these things. U.S. airspace extends up to 50 miles above the country before it gets into outer space, and that's about 300,000 feet. So this thing at 60,000 feet is clearly, in U.S. airspace.
Mm-hmm.
To the earlier point you were mentioning, and some of these other commentators, do you shoot it down or not? If we did shoot it down and the thing fell and landed on an elementary school, or a farmer's house or something like that, then everybody would be criticizing the military and the government, for taking such reckless action, right? If you don't shoot it down, then everybody criticizes, all the apparatus for allowing this thing to hover over the United States. So there's really no perfect option either way. On the allowing it to stay where it's at, as it flows across, you can actually collect information on it. How is it structured? What might be it collecting on? The techniques? Does it emit or is it passive? What are the components, hanging under this balloon? And so, China reveals its capabilities when it does stuff like that, at the risk of it collecting on our ICBM fields, up in that part of the country. What kind of radars are being used in that part of the country? Is it carrying camera packages, for photographic sorts of things? Is this something that's collecting in ways that perhaps the satellite might not be able to, right? And so there are things that we would want to learn about Chinese capabilities. And if you destroy it immediately, then you lose that opportunity. Keeping it there allows some risk. So I'm just kind of throwing some stuff out there to show the complexity of these situations.
Sure. And I'm just automatically thinking like all of the worst possible situations or scenarios why this might be out there. And then also its ability to be seen. Is it purposeful? Does China want America to see this? That's a political provocation as much as it might be like an actual threat.
Yeah, so on the intentionality of that, the rest of the world is tracking all this reporting, and this looks like a giant slap at the United States, right? That, hey, we're China, we're drifting our surveillance intel collection packages across the United States, and the big superpower can't do anything about it. So it's a real, thumb in the eye of the United States. It can be embarrassing stuff. That would be one way to interpret it. Another way to look at this is they want to collect. And there are various ways to do that. You can have spies on the ground driving around. You can have satellites. You can have aircraft. If you use an airplane, entering another country's airspace is extremely provocative. There are certain rules that govern that. A balloon, well, how do you deal with that? You could say it blew off course or whatever. There are certain rules that govern entry into airspace. We've already talked about it being actual airspace and not outer space where this thing is at. So there are multiple levels of signaling and messaging. Does the U.S. look weak and tentative because we're not taking action and the Chinese got one over on us? Or in a more sophisticated sort of way, hey, the Americans are actually collecting on Chinese capabilities and assets. It's demonstrating discipline, in its response. That might be another way to look at this. But clearly, the furor, the criticism, the outrage or surprise by the public says that this isn't a good outcome, but it is the nature of interactions between major powers. If you recall, during the Cold War, we flew U-2s and SR-71 Blackbirds over the Soviet Union all the time, intentionally violating their airspace to acquire intelligence that we couldn't get in other ways. So this isn't out of the norm, but it's unusual because we just don't hear about it very often.
Yeah, we're speaking with Dakota Wood, Senior Research Fellow for Defense Programs at the Heritage Foundation. Just so because I'm just going to ask you some of the questions that people are commenting here, because I imagine when I see a few comments here, it's what a lot of people are thinking and wondering and maybe even afraid of. But they're talking about the payload that this balloon is carrying. Is it a virus? Is it an EMP? Is it something that's nefarious? Should it fall, it would cause some sort of major destruction. The press conference earlier today, they said, no, it's not anything that poses an immediate threat. Although I don't know what kind of benefit would come from the government being like, this is a disaster and now you should be panicking.
Yeah, it'd be sowing public panic. We think it's a nuclear package. What would the public response be? Everybody running for the cabin in the woods or, whatever, robbing banks or whatever. It would just be, it would sow panic. So you're not going to see the government responding to that. Could it be anything? Absolutely. We've talked about electromagnetic pulse, EMP sorts of devices. So if you detonate a nuclear weapon that's designed for this purpose at high altitude, the energy burst goes over extraordinarily wide regions and short circuits electrical, power grids and anything with a wire in it. This has been a great fear of even solar flares coming from the sun, but certainly it's a feature of the nuclear age. It could be that, nobody expects that it is. We're not in those kinds of tensions. It would invite a nuclear response in the United States. But this is a platform, this balloon, that could carry a thing like that. Biological, highly doubtful. Viruses and such are extremely vulnerable outside of the best conditions for growth. So if something pathogen was spread on the sidewalk, quickly degrades just due to heat and cold and rain and solar energy and those sorts of things. So probably unlikely that it's anything biological in nature. But the electronics package, is it collecting? Is it passive that we talked about? Photographic? More than likely, that's what it is, which is why our government is saying it doesn't pose a threat, and there are ways to mitigate whatever it is trying to collect. You see its path. We would know what kind of radar systems we're using, what cameras might be able to look at, and you cover things up or move things around or what have you. So, I'm always skeptical of what our own government says. I think everybody normally is, but it doesn't seem to be posing a military threat at this point in time in the configuration that it currently is.
We're speaking with Dakota Wood with the Heritage Foundation. So we've talked about some of the scariest things it could be. What are some like super boring ends of the story where we find out, oh, this was somebody who made a mistake, it went off course? Could you rule out that this is just a huge bungling of something that ended up over the United States and could have been way worse?
Yeah, I think 99% we can rule that out. I think it's an intentional thing. It's, China releasing this bit. It's got a solar array under it, that collects, photovoltaic cells. And so this is a very sophisticated apparatus. Weather balloons do use sorts of things, depending on how large an area you want to look at, the endurance, how long you want something to stay in the air. So equipping this with a solar array that keeps a package functioning, and perhaps there's some kind of a propulsion unit on it so that the balloon, carried along by winds aloft, can maintain some position over a particular geographic area. You need some kind of a propeller or thruster of some way. So the fact that it has this solar array tells us that there is a fairly significant instrument package on it of some type that allows for some kind of guidance or control over this thing, right? And so it's unlikely that this is an accidental thing. I completely dismiss China's statement that this is a meteorological weather tracking sort of bit that just kind of veered off course. That's complete nonsense. So I think, again, sophistication, altitude, who could build such a thing, who would put it aloft, and the fact that it got to our land from wherever it was released, let's say China, thousands of miles away, it just shows how little we really know about these large swaths of airspace and how transparent in a sensing way that these balloon sorts of capabilities are. And so it's something to keep in mind that we might be using these things, against others. The government has a multi-million-dollar contract with a couple of companies to actually produce these sorts of airships to carry our own packages that could be used in various ways, either for collection or for weapons carriage.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about what you're articulating there, and a lot of people are saying, "What would China do if United States had this same scenario invading their airspace?" And I got to imagine, I'm kind of counting on the fact that the United States intelligence operation is pretty robust, and that there's an understanding that there is a lot of spying going on across the world all the time. But this is a very open provocation. It makes the United States potentially look foolish, which of course makes China look stronger. Like you said, between two world powers, should the shoe be on the other foot? What does this look like if the United States has a balloon floating over the mainland of China?
Yeah, China would shoot it down in an instant. I mean, they don't care about where the debris lands. China's a massive country, and it has a lot of rural areas anyway, right? But they don't have the same kind of value system that we would, or that we do, right? So I have no hesitancy in saying that they would just, shoot the thing down, consequences, be what they are. The U.S., since the end of the Cold War, has really shifted to a high-tech digital sort of methodology in conducting surveillance. So a lot of our stuff is satellite-based. We don't routinely fly airplanes across China like we did against the Soviet Union in the Cold War. Human intelligence isn't quite what it was. Back during the Cold War, we had this happy decade of the 90s. 9/11 happens, and then everything was turned to terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda and Islamic State and Hezbollah and those sorts of people. So when we just don't have the same kind of robust apparatus that we did 30 years ago when the Cold War ended and the Soviet Union dissolved. But different rule systems, different value systems. Big states do conduct surveillance on each other all the time. China has made great benefit conducting cyber espionage, business relationships with American businesses, getting their students into our higher institutions of learning and research efforts. The Chinese even have their own kind of police stations in the United States and in other countries that it's been in the news here recently, where they try to police or control the behavior of expatriate Chinese. We're keeping an eye on you. You belong to Mother China, not working and benefiting to the United States. They have the cultural institutes, across their country. So they are very, very aggressive in their efforts. We don't match that, which is a huge failure on our part. But an incident like this balloon, I think, has a way of waking up the public that it's not a quiet world out there, and people are actively trying to collect on the United States, damage our interests, and exert their will, and we just need to get our act together and be realistic about the nature of that world.
Dakota, does the United States response to this balloon that is in our airspace crossing over with the in the visuals of civilians on the ground, does our reaction, we shoot it out of the sky or we let it float across, does that make a difference to China?
It does. This is kind of like when China will probe the airspace of Taiwan. They want to do that just to cause problems to the Taiwanese, but it also allows them to gauge the reaction, right? How quickly can Taiwan or Japan get their airplanes? What are the command and control procedures to that? What kinds of radio communications? The response time, the intercept methodologies, and those sorts of things. So using that as an analogy, by doing this thing against the United States, engaging public and government reaction, it informs them as to how America operates. And then if they wanted to exploit that in some way in some future conflict, they've got a leg up, right? And so how our government responds, the nature of public outcry, all those sorts of things are really, really important on that. I think the Biden administration could be doing a much better job at laying out some of these issues instead of being so opaque, so ambiguous in their phrasing, and we can't talk about this and can't just lay it out there. The American public's this smart group of people, and they know a line of BS when they hear it, and they appreciate honesty and credibility and these sorts of truth-telling sorts of biz. They would appreciate that from the government, and I think that's where our current government has really gone wrong.
Last question for you, Dakota, and I have a million more, but only time for one more.
Sure.
The way that this situation is handled, what does that look like? Who in the government is sitting around tables making decisions about what happens next?
Well, you got the military side. So the services involved, U.S. Northern Command, also co-headed as North American Defense and NORAD. The military chain goes up through the chairman of the Joint Chiefs and Secretary of Defense, and they provide military options and their thoughts about it. And then at the White House level, the National Security Council and the advisors to the president view that, and they also then marry it with, foreign policy sorts of things, economic relationships. The White House is all over, climate change. And so Blinken, the Secretary of State, was heading over to China to talk about, lowering carbon emissions, talking with the largest polluter in the entire world, that being China. So that tells you where their focus is at, right? Diversity and equity and all these other sorts of issues. So you have all these advisors in the White House that put all of that together and then say, okay, well, how do we deal with this balloon thing, right? And that is all kind of opaque. It's all occurs inside the halls of the White House. Risk tolerance, how do we want to deal with China when we've got things going on over in Ukraine and, the Middle East with Israel and all that other kind of good stuff. And so they have their own thought process. And so when they come out with a statement, usually that is informed by all of these other competing interests.
Well, like I said, still so many questions, and I guess we'll probably know more as the days go by. Hopefully we can grab you back here and continue this conversation once we do know more next week.
Happy to help. Absolutely.
Thank you, Dakota. We appreciate you.
Take care. God bless.
You as well. Bye-bye. Senior Research Fellow for Defense Programs at the Heritage Foundation. It's a lot of info. Do you have more questions now?
Kind of.
Yeah.
The more you focus in on this, the more you realize it's a bigger deal than it seems when you just watch the image go by on TV.
And you had sent that message to me to ask, and he kind of articulated that in his response to the first question, because he just provides so much information, but that the commonality of things like this, it's obviously happening more than you and I would know that it's happening. But this one, everybody knows. And it's just casually floating right across the United States.
The one thing that he mentioned that I thought, that probably is good news out of this is that it is making people aware that there are issues that are beyond their home. And these are issues we talk about on the regular, but they're not things that people think about all the time. And now they are.
You're saying that there's a bigger threat out there than gas stoves?
I am. And I'm sorry to say that.
Ryan's always here to crash everybody's party. Everybody's party.
Well, it takes a Chinese balloon to do it sometimes.
Who ordered this? It was Ryan Wiggins. Let's take a quick break and do a little Wiggins America. We come back. Don't go away.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
I'm looking too desperately.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the Mark Cox Morning Show.
ClosetFactory.com. If you are looking for customized storage solutions for your needs, I want you to consider giving them a call. 314-961-4300. That's 314-961-4300. The Closet Factory has changed my life. They have changed the way that my family operates in our home. They are coming back to do more work in our home, and they do such a wonderful job. It's not just, I don't want you to get the idea that they're just going to come in your house and create some cubbies. They have beautiful finishes that are going to look high end when you're done with the whole project. Or like we did in our master closet, we just wanted cubbies. We wanted to maximize how our dollars were being spent at the Closet Factory, and we wanted to create as much storage as we could. You can go anywhere on that spectrum that you like. But when it comes to getting the stuff that's on your floor or in the piles or actually using the vertical space in the storage areas in your home, the Closet Factory cannot be beat. They're a local St. Louis company, and I want you to entrust them with your consultation. It's free. Call them and get started today. 314-961-4300. 314-961-4300. ClosetFactory.com.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent. But then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel is all conversation-based, so it gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
You'll really see a difference in how you can speak and how conversational you can be in just a few weeks.
Babbel isn't just lessons. You can listen to podcasts, play games, watch videos. You can even take live online classes with a language teacher. There are so many ways to learn with Babbel.
The lessons online and in the app make it easy to learn from pretty much anywhere.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Did you know that you can list your home with a full-service real estate brokerage for only 4%? Straight Realty is licensed in Missouri, and we would love to talk to you about a winning strategy to get your home sold while saving you money. Call us at 314-441-4444, 314-441-all-4s. Call us at 314-441-4444. Why pay more than $4?
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Filtering the BS pushed by the mainstream media.
St. Louis is home for conservative talk.
97.1 FM Talk.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours. Damn right.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
All right, well, that can only mean Ryan Wiggins is in the building. Because he just walks around the office and he demands that we play this. He's got, I mean, it's the weirdest thing ever because who really has a boombox anymore? Ryan, and he just makes Hannah carry it.
Yeah.
In his presence.
And the other thing that I'm considering making Hannah do is just bring me milkshakes. Although, with my new sugarless diet,
Right.
Your diabetes,
I would
is
just
what you would refer to that as.
that's what I would say
Yeah.
if I were going to say it properly.
Can I ask you a question about that? Since you talked about it on the air and maybe some people listening right now don't know what you're talking about.
You can.
You found out that you're diabetic.
Yes.
And what the last time we talked about it in full on the show, you were still waiting on the specific determination about type 1 or type 2 diabetes. You talked at length about how your cystic fibrosis diagnosis, obviously that you've been living with your whole life, has kind of lent into this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an update?
I haven't gotten to go to the doctor, but I've had to track my blood sugar since then. And so just looking at my own tracking, I can tell
Do
you
you do
that
it in crayon? I imagine there's a chart.
I do it in the blood. I'm like, well, I'm not going to put this to waste.
Touche.
I think it's probably leans more toward type 1 diabetes.
But the
which
answer
really
is
sucks.
you don't know.
No, I don't know for sure yet.
Will you tell us when you find out?
It'll be early March, but
Okay.
yeah, I will.
Well, I know
gotta
people are
collect
still going to
data.
care by then.
I know people
Yeah.
care,
People, they've lost interest.
and it makes a difference.
Yeah, it sucks. I hate everything about
Now
it.
Ryan, as a 62-year-old, has to stop eating so much sugar and exercise.
62.
You made it that far, though. That's a lot farther than a lot of people.
You know
would have
what
made it.
though? If I am 62, then I plan on living till I'm 150.
It's okay.
Wiggins. Oh, Wiggins.
Might want to stay away from those boys in the yard then.
I just want the milkshakes. I don't get what that song is referencing. I want more milkshakes from fast food restaurants. That's
That sounds
all
like
I want.
it sounds like exactly what you say to the arresting officers.
Yeah. I just wanted a milkshake.
I don't know why they're here.
Chris
I don't know
Hansen-
why the boys are always coming to the yard. But I know
Chris
that there are
Hansen steps out.
milkshakes, and I want the milkshakes.
This is my yard, and I want the boys out of it, and I just want them to leave the shakes.
Chris Hansen walks around the back. He's like, have a seat, sir.
Oh, God, please, no.
I
These are
just
funny
wanted
jokes.
a milkshake. And then Ryan runs away.
No, you don't understand. I literally was referring to a milkshake in the email. All right.
Oh, boy.
Speaking of air travel.
I don't know how that segs into this, but
You're looking for
That's in the
non-extradition
biz,
countries.
That stands for segue
I've got a story
or
here
segment.
that may affect all of us at some point in our lives. If you travel by airplane, anybody ever traveled by airplane here?
How about
the area?
balloon?
I don't want to even talk about that because
Yeah, let's not talk about balloons.
you ever seen the Hindenburg? Don't travel by balloon.
Didn't end well.
That's right. this is a story about a TikTok user. Of course, they always are like somebody going, oh, look at this. But it actually brings up a pretty good issue. In
Have
the
you picked
event,
up on the whole like new news media where it's like a TikTok user?
Yes.
Like a whole report on something a TikToker posted, or in the news world, they'll say like, AOC and the squad threw a fit on the House floor. People reacted, and then they just embed people's tweets.
Yes, that's the substance of articles.
I've had my tweets be included in those
Yes,
things
you have.
before.
Yeah,
They're
that
like,
was
Anna,
impressive.
you made the news, and I'm like, that's not really. I mean, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, or they just get on a Reddit and they go, "What's people talking about on Reddit
Yes.
today?"
It's not like I say anything that's like really useful. It's just usually super snarky and maybe funny
and relevant to whatever's going on in the world. So this was one of those that somebody made an article about it, but it does bring up an interesting point. If you're on a plane, there are several of these types of things, but they honed in on this one. Have you ever had a window that is situated perfectly between the two seats?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not on purpose though. Like I will work to not.
Really? You'll like actually scope out the windows before you sit in a seat?
I fly Southwest. I usually try to board as early as possible. And I usually have more of a choice of my row, and I wouldn't sit in a place where it's up for debate.
I mean, that's a good idea. It's just, I can't believe you're thinking that far ahead. Of
Airplane
course you
etiquette.
are.
Have you ever had
Of course
pizza?
you are.
Hey, hold on a second. Here.
What is happening right now? Yeah. Oh, hi. Hello. Hello, Annie Frey. She's 10 steps ahead all the time. I'm thinking about which seat to sit in so that I can make sure the window
to get on the
isn't-
right plane.
Yeah. Well, the video is actually pretty interesting because this guy shows it's a 6 a.m. flight and the window is situated perfectly between the two seats. So it's not clear whose window it is.
By perfectly, you mean imperfectly.
Imperfectly.
Right.
He wants to try to go to sleep. It's early. The person in front of him is kind of reaching back and opening that window with full sunlight coming in. So he
Ooh.
reaches up, closes it. She reaches back, does it again. So this time he videos it and videos himself closing it and her grabbing it while he's holding it and trying to push it up.
I understand both. I understand both people.
I wondered, I mean, is there a clear line on these things?
If it's like completely in gray area space, it's where you have to determine if your needs inherently outweigh somebody else's. And we don't really live in a society that values that. So
That's the same thing I thought.
But if you're flying on an airplane for the first time, or if you're somebody like me who can from time to time get a little air sick, I've never like gotten sick on a plane. I've had someone barf in my mouth on a plane. It was a different story for a different time. Yeah. But if you need to see outside to kind of level yourself, or if you've never flown before and you want to see that, I don't blame people for wanting to see that. But it's possible that there could be a nice small conversation. Like, could I just watch us take off?
And here's why. Yeah, just say something.
Yeah, I haven't flown, or I get a little sick if I can. I mean, that's where you're either determined to win, or you have a reason for wanting it up or a reason for wanting it down.
We're going to have to
Most
save
people just want to win.
armrests for a completely different conversation, because that is one that I think there's a lot more debate about what should be done with armrests and so forth. But we'll have to hold off because
Maybe we can fill more time. Big announcement coming on the other side of this break. The big announcement.
Can't wait.
The boys are waiting for
Can
you
you bring
out
up
there.
milkshake, please, while we have it?
We'll be
Thank
right
you.
back.
Hi, guys. It's Mark with Pineview Medical Clinic. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical advancement that has helped thousands of men. Our wave technology is backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge University. It's been shown to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us now. And not only will the assessment and blood flow ultrasound be free, but will also include something unique that produces powerful results in the bedroom. You're going to love that one, guys. Trust me. This unprecedented offer is worth $600, but it's free to those who call in the next 2 minutes. Call 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. 314-530-7777.
You know, the Diamond Shop is the right place to go this weekend because Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and they're having a major sale right now on their in-stock jewelry. 30% off in-stock jewelry at the Diamond Shop. It's in Clayton. You'll love this story. The people there, it is a great, welcoming environment. People who are going to help you find what you're looking for, a certain kind of piece and within a certain kind of budget. They're going to walk you through that process and respect you and that budget the entire way. And here's the fun part for me to get to say, if you mention my name, Annie Frey, you are going to get an additional 10% off of your purchase. So go to the Diamond Shop. You can go online to thediamondshop.net and start your shopping process there. You can become a VIP as well. If you're looking for something wonderful for him, for her, if you're looking for maybe a pair of earrings or a beautiful necklace, nice watch, a tie chain like I bought for my husband, go to the Diamond Shop and mention the Annie Frey Show, an extra 10% savings over their 30% in stock. Thediamondshop.net.
That's deep, and it is a big fly! Cardinals single game tickets for the 2023 season are on sale now and start at just $6. The schedule is filled with great matchups, including weekend series with the Yankees, Dodgers, Cubs, and more. The promo schedule is packed with fan favorites too, like jerseys, bobbleheads, legendary player tributes, and so much more. There's something for everyone in the 2023 season. Get your tickets now at Cardinals.com.
Arenado swings. He hits it a mile. Left field. It's a gunner.
Cardinals theme tickets are on sale now, and the 2023 lineup looks better than ever. Backed by popular demand, check out returning favorites like Star Wars, Margaritaville, Grateful Dead, Boy Band Night, St. Louis Blues Night, Teachers and Nurses, Don't Miss Friends Night, Shark Week, Sesame Street, and more. For a complete list of all the 2023 theme nights, visit cardinals.com/theme.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio, 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Explanation not accepted. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. China says they weren't intending to enter U.S. airspace with a balloon the U.S. still believes is spying and can maneuver.
The balloon has changed its course, which is again why we're monitoring it.
Pentagon spokesman Pat Ryder says it's a violation of U.S. sovereignty and international law, but hasn't been shot down because of potential risks on the ground. Sources telling Fox's Jennifer Griffin that as soon as the U.S. started tracking this balloon, they started taking steps to mitigate its ability to gather information from sensitive areas, including over nuclear missile sites in Montana.
And so they feel pretty confident that this spycraft is not necessarily able to continue gathering information. And so they won't say how they know that or how they are managing to control that.
The White House echoing the Pentagon's assurances that options remain under review. The White House also says a decision to postpone Secretary of State Blinken's planned trip to China this weekend does have agreement from the president. Sheriff's officials in California just announcing 2 arrests made early today in connection with the killing of 6 people last month, including a teenage girl and her baby, at a home in Tulare County. Investigators say the murders were gang-related. A 25-year-old man now in custody, arrested without incident. The second suspect, who's 35, has been in surgery after a shootout with federal agents. Despite large protests at the state Capitol, West Virginia House lawmakers pass a bill to ban gender-affirming hormones or surgeries for minors.
The state Senate is expected to pass the bill, and Governor Jim Justice, a former Democrat, now Republican, is likely to sign it. 26 other states are considering banning such procedures for minor children, calling them risky, unproven, and irreversible.
Fox's Eben Brown. Opponents say the bill puts politics over people. America's listening to Fox News.
It's Jesse Kelly here. I can't afford to lose 30% of my 401k or IRA again, and I'm assuming you can't either. Call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. That's it. You now own precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today to learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan. 833-404-GOLD, 833-404-GOLD. go.
As a Walgreens pharmacist, I talk with people all the time about little tips and tricks for filling their Medicare prescriptions, like taking advantage of Walgreens 90-day refills to save them a trip, or using Refill by Scan, which is super easy and right on your phone. And for anybody worried about prescription costs, I say, hey, we got you, with low-cost copays on many medications.
Let's talk about making things easier. Walgreens is here. Fill your way and save at walgreens.com/Medicare. See pharmacists for restrictions and exclusions.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Bundle of weather, no question about it on this Friday afternoon. Partly sunny, breezy, and very cold, even for this time of year. 30 degrees for the high. Then tonight, clear, cold, 18, but the winds go light. Saturday, sunny, cold start, windy, 48. Winds are from the south. Not going to feel that warm. Sunday, sunny, beautiful Sunday afternoon, and 55. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The State of the Union is Tuesday night, and you can hear the whole thing right here on 97.1. It all happens live at 8 o'clock our time. The State of the Union, live from Capitol Hill this Tuesday night on 97.1 FM Talk.
Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. That's 314-752-5000. So if you need some extra cash, looking for that one-of-a-kind piece, make Jewels on Hampton your first stop. Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
We trust companies to do what's right, but when they don't, there's Onder Law, making a difference, one case at a time.
Call Onder Law Personal Injury Lawyers at 314 or 6189 million.
Scott, why should you never trust stairs?
I don't know. Why?
Because they're always up to something.
Very funny. And why not let contractors know that for that set of steps or the rest of the house, we have carpet, luxury vinyl, ceramic tile, carpet tile, laminate, and sheet vinyl all in stock at low, low prices.
2 locations, 7301 North Lindbergh in Hazelwood, Missouri, and 1851 West US Highway 50 in O'Fallon, Illinois. Open 7 days a week.
Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
Tony LaRussa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Happy Friday. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis's home for conservative talk. We're very glad you're here. We've been teasing this for a while. It's a big announcement.
We have been.
So we're going to get to that here in this segment. It's February 3rd, 2023. And if you follow me on Twitter at Annie Frey Show, or if you follow the Annie Frey Show Facebook page, I was told I need to increase my Twitter following. So go follow me at Annie Frey Show and help me out. ANNIEFREY Show. I tweeted out last night and I posted on our show Facebook page that yesterday was my 14th anniversary with 97.1. And I've told this story many times before, but for me, if you're new to the station, and we get messages all the time from people who are you found us some way, shape, or form, or maybe you were in the car and somebody else was listening. And so maybe you might be a little bit newer to the station or to the show, or maybe you found us online and have come over and listened to us on the Odyssey app, where you can listen to us anywhere you go, anytime. You just follow 97.1 FM Talk there. And now you can type in Annie Frey show on the Odyssey app and follow up at the top right corner. You can follow the show there. That's a pretty cool way to keep in touch with us as well. But I did not really set out. I have a communications degree and a psychology minor, and I didn't set out into this industry to be like a radio talk show host. My dad was in radio for decades in St. Louis, and so I kind of grew up around radio stations. My dream was always to be a sports reporter. I wanted to do sideline reporting. I wanted to do big games. I wanted to be in the mix. And that was always my goal. I have a huge passion for sports. It's my hobby. It entertains me. I started in sports talk radio for 3 years. My very first position, of course, it was unpaid, was with Frank Cusimano at KFNS. And I was essentially a producer for him and did whatever he asked me to do. It was wonderful to work with him initially and then to grow at KFNS. And then I saw there was a job opening at 97.1. And that took place. I think I applied for the job right before Christmas or maybe right after Christmas. And I ended up being offered the job and I accepted it. My first day was February 2nd. And that was to be the digital brand manager of 97.1. If you kind of think of the timeline of what digital is, 2009 was not like super digital age. YouTube created, I'm Googling this right now as we speak. YouTube was launched on February 14, 2005. So YouTube was not even 4 years old when I started doing digital. So the idea of going into digital in 2009 and then growing with the station for that amount of time was kind of really nice because nobody really knew what they were doing. So I could kind of like learn on the job.
Making it up.
Yeah, there wasn't this expectation of radio. There are a lot of things about radio that have been the same for all of time. And then there are a lot of things that are changing all the time. Like you'll notice people don't talk about like radio. They talk about audio.
Yep.
You said that with a little bit of personality.
Well, it's all the verbiage that just changes for whatever reason.
But it matters.
It does matter.
It matters. I mean, I know very well that the idea of talk radio, Hannah, you listen to talk radio. You love talk radio. How many of your cohorts, your counterparts?
My friends listen to talk radio.
Do they?
None. Other than when they're listening to me.
Like, do you carry a microphone around and headphones?
No.
You're like, come listen to my show.
Nope.
But I'm sure you've exposed them to it.
I have. And it's a whole different world. They know nothing about it. They don't even think talk radio is a thing.
Right. So being the type of person that I am and having a background that was rooted in communications, but also in digital, I've always had a forward thinking, like, how do you take the thing that is so powerful that is radio, which most of you are listening to right now, your radio, wherever it might be, and make it bigger. And what, like I said, my dad was in radio and he started in the 70s and retired in the 2010, 2011. I don't know. And the things that I have at my fingertips, he never had any of that stuff. He was cutting tape and editing things that way. Did you ever cut tape?
My first TV job, not in radio.
I've never, ever done that. Yeah. Everything I've done has always been digital, but I think it was Mass Communications 203 class. We learned Pro Tools, which was a digital editing software, and the teacher didn't know how to use it. That was problematic. Yeah. I mean, he could probably edit things together the old-fashioned way, like a whippersnapper, but we basically all learned it together, which is actually how the digital age has really taken us in the last 15 years as we all kind of grow together. So the digital components of this show are very much so a result of my passions and hobbies and extra time. And then also having the best staff in the business here with Hannah and Brad and Ryan, who also think this way. Because as you know, Ryan, as somebody who's been in television, but also in radio, there kind of have been, and I'll say it's very much so changed post-COVID because everybody was thrust into this must-learn digital technology to function. But before COVID, there was a lot of separation between like, this is just how you do it. And then you add in these newfangled things, and it's like, that's nice, but don't get distracted.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So you have to learn how to roll with the punches. You have to learn how to grow. And I think one of the coolest things about this show is that we have young people coming into a medium that that normally isn't the case. As conservative talk radio is not where 35-year-olds are going initially, but once they get there, especially if they listen to sports talk radio, they might find, oh, there is a Chinese spy balloon flying over the country. I am a little bit curious about what is going on. And if you were listening to a podcast that your favorite podcaster recorded yesterday, they're not talking about that live. You have to come to radio. That will never, ever go away. The idea of live and local right here in St. Louis, 97.1 is here to provide you what you're not getting elsewhere. And that's really important to me. So yesterday was the 14th anniversary of me being with this station. And I will tell you that over the 14 years that I've been with this station, I have learned so much. I've always been very ambitious. I don't think that I ever really thought to myself, I'm going to be a radio star one day. I wanted to be in the business. I wanted to provide for my family. I wanted to have a, air quotes, secure job, which radio is like not where you go to do that.
Ever.
And God has blessed me in the most incredible ways with the most incredible people throughout this whole process. I mean, I had a weekend show when Mark Cox went to middays from weekends. 2 hours opened up on the weekend. And it was pitched to me that maybe I should consider doing a show. And I was blown away by that and like realized, yes, I really want to do that. I have something to say. And then when Mark Cox went to the morning show here, that opened up 3 hours in the middle of the day. And I was presented the opportunity to do that. And all of these things involve highs and lows. And all of the people who have come into my life throughout this entire process, I think about my whole career with Emmis and now here at Entercom, which then turned into Odyssey. I have gained so many friendships. I've lost people who are, not on this earth anymore. I have had people who have helped form me into who I am right now, who are not here anymore. Many of you know Katie, who was a huge part of this show. And the truth about that whole situation is that when my baby was born, I found out like the day after I got home from the hospital that every single fiber of this show was not the way it was going to be anymore.
Except for me.
It's like the cockroach after the nuclear bomb. Ryan is literally bouncing in his chair, waving his hand in the air like, I'm still here. What about me? And I'm like, I know.
I was going to get there.
She's acutely aware of your presence, Ryan.
Twinkies, cockroaches, and Ryan Wiggins.
You mean you were thinking about me before I waved in your face? But hey,
no, actually, I had forgotten about you.
Oh.
But your large movements really changed the way that conversation was going right back to you, which is a shocker.
I need your attention, please.
That is the truest thing that is ever said. But Ryan, you were here. You were the consistent thing from, like pre-COVID, COVID, Annie's pregnant, Annie has a baby, maternity leave. There goes the Annie Frey show. I'm like questioning every fiber of my existence and every relationship I've ever had. And everything is right up there against me. And I'm holding a newborn baby and completely hormonally sound.
Yeah.
Just like normal.
It was crazy even I almost didn't want to reach out to you at that moment because I'm like, I've had a wife go through pregnancy and know where she's at right now. And if I call right now, it's probably just going to be instant crying. So I treaded lightly.
A lot of crying. Because I lost something, when Katie chose to make a career move and she made that decision for herself, I said to her at that moment, I said, the reason I love her so much and respect her so much is because she knows what's right and what's good for her. And like, far be it from me to step in front of that and say, well, what about me? Absolutely not. Wouldn't do it. Couldn't do it then. Wouldn't do it now if I could. But then that meant that I had to say, okay, what now? And that's my general attitude when the going gets tough. That was just a particularly unstable time biologically for me that made it very difficult. And I was so burdened and stressed by what to do next with my part of that puzzle. I remember sitting in the bed upstairs. Jared was sitting next to me. Poor guy. I mean, like, you're talking about being the husband with a like psychotically hormonal wife and a brand new baby.
I almost am not laughing because I know
I'm completely okay
you
with
can
this
laugh now.
Yes.
But
I was such a mess, and I said to him, I need to watch something on television that is useless, purposeless, that is going to entertain me in a way that's going to take my mind off of everything. And we ended up watching Kevin Costner's For Love of the Game, which is like a baseball love story, which is as much as I'm getting into like, let's watch a romantic movie. Like, that doesn't happen. We don't do that. But we watched it. And I don't think I think we had watched it a long time ago, like maybe when we were dating. And we were sitting there, and I remember praying so hard for God to say to me, like, I'm in charge. This is what's next for you. I was like, make me at peace with this, but I need, like, the only way that I go forward here is if I have something to work on or work towards. And if I just feel like I'm flailing in the abyss, I can't do that. And so I was praying, watching Kevin Costner be an old man throwing a no-hitter at a baseball field, looking at you, Adam Wainwright, you're up. And I was praying for that. And Brad's name came to my head. And that's the God's honest truth. And I DM'd you.
I'll never forget that DM because it was so out of the ordinary. It was just 3 letters. The very first thing that you'd sent to me was, hey. And that was kind of it. And I didn't know how to respond, so I just responded, hey, back.
Good plan. I mean, Brad was a big fan of the show. Mm-hmm. And he had followed the show, and he was a moderator on our YouTube channel, and I compensated him with edible arrangements at Christmas time for helping.
So you had spoken, but not like you were close friends or anything.
He would message me like, hey, I don't know if you'd like maybe send me a piece of content from every once in a while, or tweet at me, but we did not message back and forth. He would maybe say, if you're ever watching us on our YouTube chat, there's inappropriate things that get put up from time to time. And I'm not talking about liberals. I'm talking about
the regulars,
creepers,
the regulars,
the 18 plus kind of crowd.
Oh, those people.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Those just get banned.
Or maybe a creeper for every once in a while. And Brad's job was to police that because I'm doing a radio show. That's what he was as a moderator. But I had already entrusted him to that. And I was sitting in bed, and I said to my husband, I go, what about Brad? And he's like, well, who's Brad? And I'm like, I don't know. He's a fan of the show. He goes, you want to make a fan of your show, your executive producer? And I'm like, I think maybe I do. And I was like, I'll think about it. And then, so I messaged Brad, and I don't know what I even said to you, Brad, but I walked into it, and you know what the first thing Brad said to me? How are you? Like, he asked me how I was.
Yeah.
Is that shocking?
No.
Not at all.
No.
He wanted to know if I was okay, and he wanted to know how I was. And Brad what was your lengthy resume of working in radio?
0. I didn't have a resume of working in radio.
You'd work the board at church.
I'm working on it now. Yeah, I ran the board at church, and I had a podcast, very amateur Cardinals baseball podcast, which I hope we can get going again. But
yeah,
that was it.
He had enough. And Ryan, as you know from being around this industry for a long time, there are a lot of people who work in this industry forever, and there were great options that were here of people who could step in and fill the very big shoes that were being vacated. But every mental thought that I had past the first one about what about Brad made sense to me. And then I go to our boss and I'm like, I have a guy who I think would be good at this. And he's like, okay, tell me about him. And I'm like, well, he's a fan of the show.
He's wearing the Annie Frey hat and he's waving a little pennant. And he's right over there.
Basically, he likes what I do. And that's all that matters. I had to explain to him that I thought he had the potential, but I think he definitely had the passion. And in the midst of all of that, I'll give Steve credit because Ryan, I think he was as afraid of me as you might have been in that because he got some very lively phone calls for me. He might have borne the brunt of that even a little bit more than my husband did behind closed doors, but he was incredibly supportive. And he, like, to Steve's credit, he trusted me. And he knew that at the same time that, like, okay, if you want to take, like, Annie, this is easier if you're happy. And if you want to take this risk and it's on you to help make this work, I'd absolutely consider it. You interviewed on your birthday?
Yeah, I didn't tell anybody it was my birthday, but it's like, hey, are you available on August 12th? I was like, sure.
Kind of lines up.
This is my birthday, as I just kind of came in and
yeah. So I tell this story specifically about Brad to enter into a little bit of a story quickly about Hannah, because Hannah, you were just sitting out there one day.
Yeah, I also interviewed the week of my birthday as well.
Lucky stuff.
Fun fact.
Hannah's sitting out there. We didn't ever have an associate producer. We're trying to put all these pieces together. My recollection is that I walked past you. I'm like, you want to be on the air today? Is that kind of how that happened?
Yeah, something of that nature. Like you were like holding your makeup bag, you were running late, and then
I was a mess.
You were
just
like,
say it.
You were like, are you my producer today? And I'm like, yes, Hannah, nice to meet you. And you were like, okay.
Oh my gosh, I let anybody in here these days.
A little hesitant.
You're my producer today.
And then
yeah, I'm Hannah. Oh, great.
That's not what happened.
No, it was not. And then somehow I came in here. I swear it was like the first shift I worked for 97.1. I came in here, we started talking, and then I think off the air, you're like, are you like, do you lean this way? Or
are you okay talking about what we talk about? Is usually how I pose it.
Yes. And I was like, of course. And I was so excited. And then the rest is history.
I'm going to talk a little bit more about this when we come back, because that big announcement is right around the corner. And it's leading into 2023 is going to be a big year for this show. And if you're listening right now, you have to understand one thing, that you are the most important part of this whole entire equation. The idea that you are out there and you share your afternoon with us, it's 100% of a choice. There's a million ways that I remind you every day of how you can connect here, and they're all asks. Every single day, they're asks. And you show up on a regular basis. When we come back, I'm going to wrap this story up. We're going to tell you our big announcement. Join us in the live stream, and can't wait to share. We'll be back in just a minute.
My back, and I'm talking to myself at night.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Back and forth through my mind behind a cigarette. And the message
you've been lied to by Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine. Hi, this is best-selling author Don Chamberlain from right here in Greater St. Louis, and I want to give you a copy of my new book, Crash Proof Wealth, because according to Time magazine, Wall Street's retirement plans in 401ks and IRAs have failed millions of Americans. After seeing the last market crash over 39%, I had enough. There may be a way to grow your money when the market goes up, potentially double digits in good years, reduce taxes, and have my principal protected if the market declines again. Call Chamberlain Group now to get my free book and talk to me personally to discover the strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose principal if the market declines again. Call 1-800-807-3838 to discover this asset, and I'll even cover shipping and handling. No credit card required. Call 1-800-807-3838. That's 1-800-807-3838. Again, 1-800-807-3838.
So let's talk about Stewart's American Mortgage and why right now is a fantastic time to purchase that home that you've had your eye on. prices have fluctuated and availability, inventory has fluctuated, but when rates went up, when the Fed raised the rates here just earlier this week, mortgage rates actually ended up coming down even more. Think about using the bagel loan where you can only get it at Stewart's American Mortgage. When you use a bagel loan, you are going to be able to get that loan at no closing costs. That is a great way to save money. We were hearing Stewie on the air yesterday. If you missed it, a great conversation about the Fed and what that whole process ended up, what is the outcome of that? But he was talking about how on his website, when you get pre-approved with him, you can go to his website, into his portal, and you can generate yourself your pre-approval up to the amount that you have been pre-approved for. So you don't have to wait on anybody. It's just one of the many ways that Stewart's American Mortgage is making the entire experience of securing a mortgage with you right there at the center, prioritizing you and what's best for you. Call or text 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. You can Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Congress has authorized trillions in new spending, along with doubling the size of the IRS agency in just the last few months. Do you think that is by accident? No, it is with a purpose, to go after small businesses, employees, and individuals who have not filed or paid their taxes. If this is you, don't panic, just call. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm in St. Louis. Interest and penalties on your tax bill won't stop until you take control. Call me, Lance Drury. I'll tell you in advance an affordable fee, which includes costs and expenses that works for your business and family. Your first visit to the Lance Drury Law Firm is free and confidential, so you have nothing to lose. Call me today. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. You need an attorney. You need us, the Lance Drury Law Firm. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Will Scharf is with us. We've got a crime problem in our cities. We have jobs and businesses fleeing. Unless we break that mold, I think we're going to continue to get more of the same. And to me, that's unacceptable.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
They say, oh my God, I see the way you shine. Take your hand.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
You know you stopped me dead while I was passing by. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. Ooh, I see you.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I'm reading some of these comments about what you guys think we're going to announce here, and we're trying to determine if you guys are going to be really excited or really disappointed. So we talked in the first segment of this hour just a little bit about yesterday being my 14th anniversary with 97.1. I am one of the most senior people at 97.1 as far as tenure, certainly not authority, but I've been here for a really long time. And this kind of leads me into this April, which we're going to talk about here in a second. When we went to the break, I was talking about Hannah and how Hannah kind of got brought onto the show. And if you missed hearing how Brad found his way here, I think it's an incredible story. It's an incredible story in my life that when I look back on it, I realized that as much anxiety as I had the whole time, if I had just chilled out a little bit and put my anxiety in the hands of God, which I tried to do, and that was my prayer, that I would have seen what he was doing the whole time. And the truth is that same thing really happened with you, Hannah. The idea that you were sitting out there one day, and I think I have pretty decent intuition, but for me to come out to you and not even, I don't know that I knew what your name was at the time, but I was like, why don't you come be on the air? We'll put you on the air in the 2:00 hour. There was just something that was scratching at me saying, go get her. And you can ask our boss, Steve. I think he worked with us one time.
Mm-hmm.
And my text message to him was, I want Hannah on my show. Please get Hannah on my show. What do I need to do to make Hannah the AP on my show? And he's like, oh, Annie.
Again.
Always asking for things. I only ask for the things that I want. And I try to get them if I can. And, I've grown to know you, Hannah. I sometimes have to remind myself that you're 21 and I'm 38 because it doesn't feel like, it really, I could be your mother.
Whoa.
I know. But you bring so much to this show and what you have been able to do to expand the show. And even doing things like Instagram, like the strengths that you have on the show in a conservative talk radio station, the home for conservative talk in St. Louis here on 97.1, to think that a 21-year-old would be a part of the show and such an important part of the show that if you are not here, you are missed. And there are things that we're like, we'll just let Hannah take care of that when she gets back because you do it the best. And to know that with all of the shuffling that was going on at that time in my life, but specifically with the show, the space that was cleared was made for Brad, and the space that was cleared was made for Hannah. And that is an incredible, incredible blessing. And, as I've grown to know you on the air, but of course off the air, I really hope the show has been a blessing back to you.
It absolutely has been a blessing, and everything, my growing experience here really has been seamless, and I can't thank anybody enough but my team and our listeners. It's been great. I did not know things would end up this way. I just feel so incredibly blessed, and I couldn't be happier here.
For the people who are watching us on the YouTube stream or who are listening to us in their car right now, you can always join us on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. But the conversations that I've had with Hannah as well, being 21, my encouragement to her was always don't pretend to be anything you aren't. You are 21. I would say almost every person listening and watching knows what it's like to have been 21. And people don't expect you to whip out a really great soliloquy on the Chinese spy balloon and the next steps that the United States should take. But people embrace you so much because you give a lot of these people hope for the future. And I think that is so incredible that God said, you need a Hannah Gibbs in your life. And I saw it, I don't know why, but I realized it in that moment, and you took up the call, and every day you raise the bar.
Oh, thank you. That means so much to me. I love it here.
Speaking of raising the bar.
She looked at me in a weird way.
I did not. I just looked at you. You think my face is weird?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's rude.
Especially at that moment when you looked at me with it being your face.
In April, we are celebrating, April 23rd, we are celebrating the 5th anniversary of the show. If you know anything about radio, you know that these types of things can be short-lived. We kind of count our careers in dog years. To be at one station for 14 years, let alone to have a midday show for 5 years, and I'm 38 years old right now. That's an incredible success for me. I pray that it is a blessing to you as a listener on any given day. But I wanted to celebrate with my team. So even Ryan.
Which I was the last to be asked.
That's actually true.
I only say what's true.
Had to get some buy-in from other people to make sure that it didn't just end up being you and me, which would be a freaking nightmare.
It would be Instagrammable.
That's true.
Like a murder scene. So in May 6th, which is a Saturday, we are taking the first flight out of St. Louis as a show crew to Orlando, Florida. We are taking our talents to Disney World together.
Woohoo!
And we are going to document the entire process. I am bringing these guys along, and we're going to show them the ropes. Yeah, Hannah's getting in gear here. And we are going to go to Disney World together. We are going to document everything on our YouTube channel. There are going to be YouTube live streams. And you going to wait? Is it a big reveal?
What, me taking my shirt off?
It's a quarter zip. He has to
Not
pull
your
it over
shirt.
his head.
Leave your shirt on.
What do you want me to do then? I don't know what you're asking.
I thought it was a jacket.
Yeah, I can't take the whole thing off. I got to take it off over my head.
JC on
Real
the live
slow and
chat
sultry.
says that he called it.
Yeah. And I have to say that it's going to be 3 days, 2 nights of the most fun that we can fit into those 3 days. Brad and Hannah have never been in their memory. You guys both went as little children.
Like 4.
I don't remember anything about it.
And I only went because you told me it was fun. And then I did in 2020, and then it got canceled because it was 2020. And then I went back anyway.
Oh man,
Still
I'm
went.
so excited.
And we're going to, like I said, we're going to document it. We are open to suggestions of things that you want to see us do while we're in Disney World. This has been I've asked them questions about how they want me to plan this out. And Ryan's like, I just want to not wait in lines. He wants to like plus up the experience and zig and zag while everyone else zags and zigs as much as we possibly can. And I'm very good at that. Brad keeps just saying, I'm just happy to be there.
I'm just happy to go.
I'm just happy to be along. And Hannah wants to see the castle.
I want to see the castle, and I want to get a Dole Whip.
A Dole Whip.
That's my 2 big things.
I
Castle and
guarantee
Dole
you
Whip.
there will be a picture of Hannah with a Dole Whip in front of the castle.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. And in Mickey ears, because I'm an ear girl now.
Apparently, yes. If you watch for the rest of the show on the YouTube channel, Hannah will be sporting Disney ears, which I don't do. I do not own a pair of Disney ears. My daughters own them and wear them, but I do not. Not that girl. So we're going to go. We are looking forward to taking you along on this trip. We think that this is going to be great. It could be an amazing disaster. The 4 of us are going. My husband is going to come help essentially chaperone and video things so we can have as much exposure for you as possible. So please come subscribe to the Annie Frey YouTube channel if you haven't yet, and turn on your notifications so that when we go live or when we post new videos, it'll be there. In the midst of all this, celebrating 5 years is a really big deal. And I have not talked about Ryan Wiggins yet, but the truth is Ryan, you've been here since 2018.
With you since 2019.
19?
With the station since 2018.
Yeah. And I mean, of all of the things that this show has gone in and out of, Ryan has really saved 1 year, which was a pretty stable year until you got here. It seems like it all started to go crazy. You have experienced a lot of this side by side with me. I know we joke around with each other a lot, but you are an absolute important part and piece of this show. And I know that the audience loves you because they always bring you up, but it's always like this. Oh, yeah. Ryan Wiggins. And then they go, I love that guy.
It's not just online, it's in person. People come up to me and they go, oh gosh, like while they're shaking my hand.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know how to feel about you right now, but I think that I'm glad that I'm shaking your hand.
They love that you're part of the show.
So just real quick. In 2018, I started here because I had failed in TV. No.
That's the part of the industry from the industry story that he's never said on the
I got to the point where me and my business partner, Old Roy from my show on Saturdays, I was just doing business. We was doing nothing creative. If you know me from the show at all, you know I like to be creative, and doing nothing but business was like, I can't do this anymore. So I stepped away from that. I actually drove Uber for a while. That was when I was doing that. Came here because I did have a background in radio and knew some people and made some phone calls, and they said, sure, we'll bring you on part-time, doing the same kind of stuff as everybody else here did, just kind of working their way up. And so started doing that. And then Dave Glover had me on his show, and that lasted for about 5 months. And I heard while I was on that show that Annie had been poking around to see if I might be available or something like that. What? Am I wrong? I was under the impression
you should have pre-gamed that show that story.
That I will live under the delusion for the rest of my life that I was recruited, even if I wasn't. And I ended up on this show. My first day was September 30th, 2019. So Annie and I got to know each other for what? October, November, December, January, February, the world goes crazy in March.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that you had a crash course in dealing with me, probably more than I had a crash course in dealing with you.
When did we graduate?
I don't know. That's part of the story that I'm telling, is that when the world went crazy, we all went home and we were sent home. We couldn't come to work. So we're all broadcasting from home for, over a year. And then May of 2021, they said, okay, we're going to start bringing people back into the studios. Well, that was right when you were due.
June, yeah.
So right when you were due to have your baby and be on maternity leave is when they started having people come back in studio. So it was a really strange relationship. I felt much more like you were my work colleague friend than when the whole show blew up when you were on maternity leave and you came back. It is ever since then that I feel like, no, actually now, which is why I say, like, when you were gone, it was weird to reach out to you because I'm like, I emotionally don't even know where you're at right now.
Neither
Whereas
did I.
if at this moment that were to happen, I would be calling you.
Yeah.
Because I think we were getting to know each other still when everything had happened, even though it's because of COVID, we just weren't in the same room very long. So now, having worked with you in the same room, being in the same building for over a year, I think it's a good time to sort of reflect on this because we're all going to go on vacation together. I think we have become very good friends.
Yeah.
In a way that we had not been, even though I had been on the show with you for that long, but we weren't in the same room for so long.
Yeah. I was out of this office for 18 months.
Mm-hmm. And so watching all that happen, I mean, we were talking every day, but we were literally just talking on the radio to each other. That's it. Because it was very hard to talk off air when we're Zooming, basically the radio show. So after everything went crazy, then you came back and kind of took charge of the Annie Frey show again, which for months was kind of just me going around being like, guess what's going to happen today? And then I was hosting the show for just a little while there and so forth. It was a completely new season. And in that season, we've gotten to meet Brad, and then Hannah came along after that. And we have a team, and it's neat. It's fun to know that I may check my text or Twitter at any given time in the middle of the night and you guys are talking and I'm listening, but I'm also probably asleep much more than all of you are because I just sleep more than you do. But it's been fun because it's being a part of something. And so just culminating the whole idea that this is something special, and I really feel that. I know that you guys too do too, and I think we all look forward to doing something long term, looking forward, like you said, to a great 2023, just see what God's got in store for us long term.
Yeah.
And we're going to celebrate.
I know that it's not everybody's experience, and I 100% respect that. So don't hear what I'm not saying. But my experience is a God experience. I'm a Christian. And the greatest struggles and sufferings that I have had in the last few years of my life, God always stuck the landing, and it was always a matter of time for me to wise up and realize that was the whole plan. And in this room, when you listen to the show, if you feel like you're connected to the show or you like we have very different personalities. We do get on each other's nerves, but we do care about each other, and we do care about you. And the fact that my entire radio career has kind of been people going, Annie, get in there and go do that. We need just go keep us on air. That seems to be if there's been a hole, just stick Annie in there. And nobody's ever blown smoke at me about how, what's in store in my future. I don't have any delusions about how quickly this can all just go up in smoke and be gone. But I do know that the next time it feels like everything goes up in smoke, I'm going to ask you to remind me that God's in charge. And this has been an incredible blessing to me. We'll be celebrating 5 years in April. We're going to be spending 2 nights and 3 days. We've got 2 rooms at Disney World. And this is the greatest worst idea we've ever had.
I mean, we're going to be in close quarters
Very.
for 3 straight days, coming up with some crazy content.
With no sleep.
No, yeah, we're not sleeping, which is going to be terrible on me. You guys will probably be fine.
It's going to be.
But I sleep 12 hours a night.
Everybody here rides roller coasters. There's really nothing that anyone has said that they're not doing. And they've entrusted me to show them the best Disney World time I possibly can, which is a great challenge for me. And I'm so excited to do it. So I really want to invite you to come along with us on this experience. And like I said, we're going to be putting up as much of this live streams and everything on our YouTube channel. And I will also remind you that I relaunched the Pixie Dust podcast. If you can go to your Odyssey app or wherever you get podcasts from, it says the Pixie Dust podcast with Annie Frey on it. Relaunched it last night, this morning, the first episode back since September of 2020 with my friend Erica. And it's about Disney World vacation planning. And she's the best. And I love talking about it. So that is the big announcement. We want to take you along with us. We're going to celebrate 5 years together with you in the most magical place on earth. Let's do a little Ask Me Anything when we come back. We're not going to have a whole lot of time, but if you've got questions that you're dying to ask, make sure you ask them there, and we will answer them in a minute. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
So they say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, healthcare, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together, millions of things for our planet. Give your sweetheart an experience rather than a gift, like a night out for dinner or a couple's massage. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
This station is now conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Save up to $900 in utility rebates and see if you qualify for 0% financing on a new high-efficiency HVAC system. For details and to get into your comfort zone, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Celebrating 22 years as St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk. Thanks for being a part of it. This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We just made the announcement. We're celebrating 5 years of the Annie Frey Show this coming April, and the show is going to Disney World together. Woohoo! On the same trip.
100% together.
No kids.
That's true. No kids.
My husband's going to help us because we're staying on our like Disney Vacation Club points, and he's going to help video stuff. But it's the 4 of us and Jared.
We're flying together. We're staying in 2 separate rooms just to be safe.
What? So I don't kill you in your sleep?
No, because if I use the bathroom in the middle of the night,
Ryan and I can't be trusted in the same room.
Okay.
I will be sleeping in the ice machine room.
Weird. Maybe we'll come home early. I have a question here right now from Art, our friend Art. Disney ride you're looking forward to the most, Ryan?
Probably the new Guardians of the Galaxy. I was gonna say Tron, but Guardians.
Cosmic Rewind and a great roller coaster in Epcot. What about you?
So I saw the only ride that I know that they're opening up like right around the time that we're going is the Tron ride, and I saw a video of it.
What is that?
I am on that. It's a light cycle. Are you familiar with Tron at all?
No.
So they have these motorcycles called light cycles,
I don't
and
really feel like anybody's familiar with Tron.
They must be putting some money into Tron in the future because
Yeah.
if they're putting this ride up,
Well,
we're gonna
I
see
mean,
more Tron.
So rather than sitting in a cart like a general roller coaster, it's like this futuristic looking motorcycle that you sit on, and they strap you in, and it goes around and loops and all these other things, and it looks really
Watch
exciting.
the original 80s movie. It's pretty neat to watch now.
Don't watch the original 80s movie.
I
Watch
already have a list of Disney stuff.
What
that I
is
have
it?
to watch.
Listed.
Coco.
Oh, the list of things you need to watch. Yes.
Coco.
Yes.
The ride I'm looking forward to the most is Space Mountain.
Really?
Yeah, I don't really know much else.
That's great.
The one that drops.
I'm looking. That's Tower of Terror.
That
is that one of your? I know you're a Twilight Zone
I'm a
fan.
Twilight Zone nut, so I love all the stuff in it. The ride was fine. Yeah, it was fun.
I'm really looking forward to the Galaxy's Edge Rise of the Resistance with Brad. Because he's a Star Wars nerd.
Yeah.
I don't really know
Will Brad show emotion enough for us to get a kick out of it, though?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, we should ask him
I
sometime.
don't think he's incapable of showing emotion.
Not emotional.
I don't know. I don't see you getting like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I think you'd say, oh man, that's pretty cool. Or
Next
something.
question for Ask Me Anything before we have to run here. Your favorite thing about the Annie Frey show?
Who's going first? Annie Frey should go first.
Annie Frey should go first.
Yeah, we agree.
My favorite thing about the Annie Frey show is that I feel like, and this is my goal, so I hope that this is the case for you, but I feel like you can leave the show informed but not exhausted. And that is my daily goal for you, where we talk about the issues that are important, but that you can still understand that there are other things in life that you should be laughing about or feeling about or having emotions about, and that you can't, as much as the news cycle and politics is like the lifeblood of this show, if we prioritize that in our lives as the only thing that matters, I think that's fruitless. And I don't think that that's always the goal for people in this line of work. And so I think we do a really good job of it, which is where the team comes in and the listeners.
My favorite thing about the Annie Frey show is the family aspect of it. Us as a crew, we're like family, and our listeners, they're a family, and we're all family together. That's my favorite part about the show.
Yeah, Hannah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I don't feel like I come into work. I feel like I come into
Plagiarism.
See family.
Boring.
Yeah, leave me alone, Ryan.
Good
Just-
answers,
just,
though.
just
Good
like a little
answers.
brother, but I mean,
Brothers.
like
like little brother.
yeah, little, like
Small.
4'6",
Not really
Like a bigger, younger brother.
but just smaller.
like an older, younger brother.
Shorter.
Like a shrivelly old man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly. See,
Yeah,
Ryan, you
get
get
it
me.
now? Cheers. Carry on. What's your favorite thing about this show, Ryan Wiggins? Thanks for staying.
when I go home every day, I feel like I have accomplished something. And sometimes that's that we have talked about important things. And sometimes it's that I feel like we had some really good segments, that we had some, really good moments of jokes or whatever. But regardless, I think even on the worst days, some shows are great, some shows are average. Even on average days, I feel like I'm pretty proud of it.
What shows are average?
Usually the Mondays, like
Easy.
usually it's the first segment. That one, I'm always like, yawn.
Shut up. That's my segment.
Annie's monologue.
The first segment of every day's show. But after that, I'm like, oh man, here we go.
Especially at 12:45 every day.
3 whole days together.
Yeah, you're gonna hear a lot of that. You're gonna get real tired of me. When we get back,
Going to.
you're gonna hate me. Because right now you love me secretly. But you're gonna really hate me.
Secretly. I'm doing better at hiding this than I thought I was. I'm excited, guys.
I am stoked.
We're all excited. I
It's-
think you can probably hear us talking.
And we also, I'm going to tell you this. We've made a commitment. We're only going to talk about the Disney World trip on Fridays. So if you want to
Deal.
ask us questions about it,
hard
I mean,
as that
I'm
is
talking
gonna
about on
be.
the air. It's pretty much 24/7 off the air, but on the air, just on Fridays. Let's do X's and O's with Jen Teske when we come back. Don't go away.
That's deep, and it is a big fly.
Cardinals single game tickets for the 2023 season are on sale now and start at just $6. The schedule is filled with great matchups, including weekend series with the Yankees, Dodgers, Cubs, and more. The promo schedule is packed with fan favorites too, like jerseys, bobbleheads, legendary player tributes, and so much more. There's something for everyone in the 2023 season. Get your tickets now at Cardinals.com.
Arenado swings. He hits it a mile. Left field. It's a gunner.
Cardinals theme tickets are on sale now, and the 2023 lineup looks better than ever. Backed by popular demand, check out returning favorites like Star Wars, Margaritaville, Grateful Dead, Boy Band Night, St. Louis Blues Night, Teachers and Nurses, Don't Miss Friends Night, Shark Week, Sesame Street, and more. For a complete list of all the 2023 theme nights, visit cardinals.com/theme.
The Closet Factory, online at closetfactory.com, can help you organize your closet space. That's pretty obvious, right? Well, let me tell you about the maybe less obvious things that they can do for you. Many people becoming empty nesters as your kiddos have gone to college and maybe got their own spaces. So every once in a while, you might need that bedroom back in your house, but you're ready to use it for your own space. Imagine this. A wall bed in that same room, so you get to retain the ability to host people, to have guests in your house, but then to put in the customized storage that's going to allow you to turn that into your craft room or your den, your study, maybe your art room or your workout room. These are the types of things that the Closet Factory can come into your home and take the space that is there and maximize it for your purposes. It's affordable. It's got a domino effect through your entire house when you are able to maximize that space that's in your home, and they're just a phone call away. Reach out to them at 314-961-4300, closetfactory.com.
Download Upside and start getting cash back wherever you roll. It's like having your own hype man. Get an average of 17% cash back at restaurants.
Oh, it's dinner time.
Average of 13% on groceries.
Get those groceries.
10 cents per gallon average cash back on gas.
It's go time.
Plus, cash back at participating convenience stores too.
Stacks on stacks.
Users can earn hundreds of dollars a year, 3 times more than other apps.
Upside, show me that money.
All right, we get it. It's easy. Just sign up for the free Upside app and start getting cash back for doing you. Download the free Upside app and use promo code DOYOU for an extra $10 cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. That's promo code DOYOU for an extra $10 on the free Upside app. Get cash back for doing you with the free app from Upside.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
All options on the table. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The White House and the Pentagon offering that reassurance as the U.S. military continues to track a high-altitude Chinese balloon believed to be spying.
The balloon is traveling eastward at an altitude of about 60,000 feet. It is over the central continental United States. Pentagon spokesman Brigadier General Pat Ryder says, rejecting Chinese claims the balloon is doing weather research and veered off course.
So the balloon is maneuverable. Clearly, it's violated U.S. airspace. And again, we've communicated that fact to the PRC.
Ryder would not detail exactly where the balloon is and says the military has so far ruled out shooting it down out of concern of a wide debris field that could put people on the ground at risk.
Fox's Jared Halpern, the White House says it's a clear violation of U.S. sovereignty and that President Biden agrees with the postponement of Secretary of State Blinken's planned trip to China this weekend. The president and vice president set to make a joint appearance in Philadelphia, calling the state of the economy strong, including 12 million jobs created since he took office.
That's the strongest 2 years of job growth in history by a long shot.
The president speaking this morning after a new report came out showing 517,000 jobs created in January, double what many economists expected. The president also telling reporters he doesn't take any blame for inflation after inheriting an economy in real difficulty. 2 suspects under arrest for the murders of 6 people, including a baby, at a Central California home last month.
I was recently at a local store here in town where literally I was stopped over and over again because this case has really impacted people.
Tulare County Sheriff Mike Boudreau says both suspects are gang members, and members of the victim's family also have a long history of gang violence. America is listening to Fox News.
It's Jesse Kelly here. I can't afford to lose 30% of my 401k or IRA again, and I'm assuming you can't either. Call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. That's it. You now own precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today to learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan. 833-404-GOLD. 833-404-GOLD.
As a Walgreens pharmacist, I talk with people all the time about little tips and tricks for filling their Medicare prescriptions, like taking advantage of Walgreens 90-day refills to save them a trip, or using Refill by Scan, which is super easy and right on your phone. And for anybody worried about prescription costs, I say, hey, we got you, with low-cost copays on many medications.
Let's talk about making things easier. Walgreens is here. Fill your way and save at walgreens.com/Medicare. See pharmacists for restrictions and exclusions.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Bundle up weather, no question about it, on this Friday afternoon. Partly sunny, breezy, and very cold, even for this time of year. 30 degrees for the high. Then tonight, clear, cold, 18, but the winds go light. Saturday, sunny, cold start, windy, 48. Winds are from the south. Not going to feel that warm. Sunday, sunny, beautiful Sunday afternoon, and 55. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
After a decade of rising home values, Fed Chair Powell says we're entering a difficult market correction. Translation, your home's value is likely to plunge. That's bad news for all homeowners, but especially if you're retired or nearing retirement and need the cash that's tied up in your home. Here's a smart solution, TrueHold. TrueHold will buy your home today before values plunge. But here's what makes TrueHold unique. You can continue living in your home with a comfortable rent. The cash is yours now to do whatever you like. Travel and enjoy retirement, invest it, pay off all your bills, whatever. TrueHold even covers property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. TrueHold is the simple, easy solution to unlock financial freedom without having to move and disrupt your life. Discover how much TrueHold will give you now, while its value is high. Call 855-300-9993. Again, 855-300-9993. That's TrueHold. Visit TrueHold.com. TrueHold.com.
If you're thinking about going to the dentist and maybe switching your dentist, or if you haven't been for a long time, may I recommend to you Foley Dental Group. Go to FoleyDentalGroup.com and set up an appointment, and you'll quickly see why the Foley Dental Group are the dentist for the Frey family. All of the ages of the family members go there. Everybody feels comfortable, and they give you amazing care. Their dental care approach is a whole health approach. When you go visit their office, it's brand new. It's right there at 270 and 159 in Maryville. It's incredibly easy to get to from anywhere. So if you can find 270, you can easily find Foley Dental Group. You can schedule your appointment. If you've got an ache or a pain, make sure you tell them that. They're going to be able to make it so you don't have to have that ache or pain anymore. Don't live like that because you've hesitated to go to the dentist. If you are looking for implants or dentures, something to help replace missing teeth, they can walk you through that process with utmost respect and get you to a place where you are confidently smiling for everybody to see again. Call them at 618-288-9670 and schedule an appointment today. 618-288-9670, online at FoleyDentalGroup.com.
With each breath, allergens, germs, and viruses get trapped in your nose. Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage. Available at Navage.com.
If you need to sell your home to buy a new home, it's never been more important to have an experienced negotiator you can trust. You need my friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty on your side, fighting for every dollar for you. Check out thegelmanteam.com. That's thegelmanteam.com.
Big ideas, real debate, solid entertainment. You found it here.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
They got someone here knows what they're talking about.
Left up, left right, gotta love this American ride.
Like, you need to take some time to get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long. Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
It's Friday on the Annie Frey Show, of course, and it's that time for X's and O's. We're going to get to the game that we play here. A little trivia game kind of sums up the news cycle or whatever is crawling around in Ryan Wiggins' brain this week. When do you put this together?
All week, but mostly toward the end of the week.
This morning.
Yesterday afternoon.
All right.
11:45.
Well, we want to welcome our guest back to the studio, Jen Teske, the realtor that you haven't even realized you need yet with RE/MAX Alliance, and Sarah back in the studio with us. Thank you guys for coming back.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Are you excited?
I am so excited.
Did you study?
We are. One of us did. The other one was in Mexico.
I studied, the drink menu.
Okay. And you know what? You might be the real winner here at the end of the game, for sure.
Probably work out that way.
We love having Jen in here. Jen is a friend of mine. She's a realtor on the Illinois side of the river. And like I said, with RE/MAX Alliance, her phone number is 618-541-1010. You can call her, text her if you're looking to buy or sell a home on the Illinois side. We talked with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage a little bit earlier, and he was talking to us about the feds raising the rate, but that caused the mortgage rates to come down. What does that look like for you, Jen, on the market front? Are people buying houses right now, or is that slowed down?
Absolutely buying houses. You would think if you listen to the news media that everything's come to a screeching halt. It's actually the opposite. We are seeing a lot of buyers out there. We are helping our buyers compete to win when they are bidding on properties, and having the interest rate lower is just a great thing for sellers. If you are thinking about selling, now is a good time to do it. And I know Stewie talked about that yesterday. This is the time to buy and sell. So we're seeing a lot of activity, and we are seeing multiple offers. We're seeing people go above list. So don't believe what you're seeing in the media. There are a lot of people out there buying. So if you want to sell, now's the time.
What if I want to sell? I don't really know. Nobody knows what's going to happen next at any given time. But what if I want to sell, but it's in the future? When is the right amount of time out to call Jen Teske and get the conversation started?
I tell people, call me a year ahead of time. I had someone call yesterday, and they want to sell probably in another year or so. They're at retirement age. They want to have their house ready in case they decide or need to go into an assisted living type situation. And I tell people, call me now, because I don't want you doing improvements that you don't need to spend money on.
Yeah.
And that is a courtesy that our team provides. We will come to the house. We will do a walkthrough with you. I actually have something called the Clutter Buster that I will share with you that will help you with going through clutter and thinning things out. But it's never too late to start walking through your house and assessing what you need to do in case you need to sell. And you never know. You could be my in-laws last December just suddenly found themselves in a situation where they had to go to a nursing home. Their house was not ready to go on market. So guess who gets to do that?
Yeah.
But you want to be ready and having a nice list that you can start working through, whether you're going to sell next month or a year from now.
So, Sarah, you have a couple of open houses coming up. Is there a great best place for people to go to find that information, or do you have it?
So Facebook's a great source. Checking with their local real estate agent, checking our website, jenteskehomes.com. We always have our open houses up there.
jenteskehomes.com. That's Teske. And she works with RE/MAX Alliance. We love our partnership with you here on the show. And I'm so grateful to be able to have you come in here and play these games, because it gets people, especially with a realtor. Like I've bought 2 houses. I've sold 1 house. You need to have somebody who you can put yourself in their hands and trust to give you the straight facts, but in a way that you can handle hearing it. Cause it's not always
sunshine and roses.
No, but you need someone who can do that. And I've had that experience with realtors I've used. And since I met you, I know so many people who have given you those glowing reviews as well. So Jen Teske in with Sarah today to play a little X's and O's. Ryan, are you prepared to take over?
I am fully prepared as usual. We are playing X's and O's. You guys have been here before. Who won last time?
Sarah thinks she won.
I was the first winner. Like, I won tic-tac-toe.
Okay.
They were hanging chads.
But then she won with the most O's. So,
Ooh.
I mean.
Okay, so it was kind of a split decision.
So what we will do is not tell you who won and let you continue to fight about it.
Yeah.
But good thing she did not strap me to the front of her car today on the way over. So, I mean, I've got that going for me.
There you go.
But maybe on the ride home.
So what we're going to decide then is who actually won today then. So that's what's at stake, is not just this week, but wins the overall
ultimate
competition between you two, which is very, very intense. And I'm not going to let up. This week is going to be kind of tough.
Oh boy.
So I'm letting you know ahead of time. So the board behind
wink
you.
One, right?
Thank you. Yeah.
One wink.
I do accept bribes. Behind you is the board. One of you will actually have to mark that board for us because I can't reach it from here. So whenever you have an X that goes into one of those tic-tac-toe squares, you can put it in there, or an O. And then Jen, you will be X's. Sarah, you will be O's. Since Jen says, no, you say you won the first one last time.
Yeah.
So we'll let Jen go first this time.
Thank you.
With X's. And you will pick one of those squares you played before, but just to remind you that you'll pick one of those squares as a corresponding question. And then the three experts in the room are Brad, Hannah, and Annie. You'll pick one of them to answer your question for you. You'll just agree or disagree for the square. So which one do you want to go with first?
Let's start with number 6.
All right. Number 6.
Center right square.
Center right. Well put. All right. Who is answering this question for you, Jen?
Let's go with Brad.
All right. Brad, yesterday was Groundhog's Day. And meteorologists have said that the groundhog shadow forecast has nearly zero basis in scientific fact.
It's shocking.
Amazing.
Regardless, the science deniers of Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, chose to bring out Groundhog Phil. Did Phil predict 6 weeks of warmth or 6 weeks of cold? FYI, Phil historically is right about 40% of the time, according to Who Cares.
Oh, Phil.
According to Who Cares. All right, let's see here. I saw the update on my phone, and I thought, that's such a ridiculous thing, but the movie was funny, so I'm going to go with 6 more weeks of cold.
But the movie was funny. That sounded like a Ryan Wiggins train of thought.
Working on it.
It's just words.
He's going with cold. Did Punxsutawney Phil predict cold or warmth, Jen?
I'll just go put my X up right now.
You're
Cold.
agreeing with Brad.
Did you
Brad's
say
right.
Punxsutawney Phil?
What am I supposed to say?
The right word.
Say it.
Punxsutawney Phil.
There's an N in there though.
Punk?
Punks. Yeah. Punxsutawney Phil.
Let's
Maybe
just
I'm
call
wrong.
him Phil.
Let's
Phil
call him
the
Phil,
groundhog.
and we'll say Jen was right.
Yeah.
Because so was Brad. Great reasoning, Brad.
Punxsutawney Phil.
The movie was funny.
The movie, it still holds up. There's some
Great
great
movie.
behind the scenes facts about that movie too. Apparently he was supposed to have been stuck in the original script for like 1 million years. Something that didn't make the final movie. Isn't that crazy?
I've never seen it.
Really? Oh, another one you got to put on your list. All right.
Don't waste your time.
With all my free time, yeah.
Sarah, you are up next. Which square do you want to go with?
5.
5, center square. Who are you going with?
Hannah.
Okay.
Hannah, you have stumbled into sound.
Yay, can't wait.
What we have here is a real quote from the week. I have run this through AI software, so that it does not sound like the person speaking, but the quote is real. Which member of the squad said this from the House floor this week?
Don't tell me that this is about a condemnation of anti-Semitic remarks, when you have a member of the Republican caucus who has talked about Jewish space lasers.
Okay.
That is exactly not what it sounded like on the House floor.
Yeah, no joke.
Hannah, who said that?
Space lasers.
Who said, don't tell me this is about a condemnation of anti-Semitic remarks when you have a member of the Republican caucus who has talked about Jewish space lasers?
AOC?
AOC. Sarah, do you agree or disagree?
Disagree.
Ooh, she's going to disagree. Here's the real.
Shook.
Here's the real answer.
Don't tell me that this is about a condemnation of anti-Semitic remarks.
What is that?
That's my buzzer. I brought a buzzer this week.
That doesn't sound like a wrong buzzer. That sounds like a small car.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a
it is the
miniature
wrong
semi.
buzzer.
Me.
Waiting for a bunch of clowns to jump out of it.
Yeah. Oh, they're here. Send them in.
Oh, well, Square goes to X then. Jen
She fumbled over her words way too much
A
for that
lot.
to be the smackdown that she thought she was about to deliver.
What was she doing?
Freaking out.
I mean, flailing her
Panicking.
arms around.
Yeah. No, it was
Now I'm gonna have to go watch that.
Yeah,
you can't unsee it.
yeah, and
You
it's
gotta-
easy to find.
You got to watch all of them because they all lose their mind.
I wish that they would do that on the house floor.
Yeah.
Can you spare that thing?
I'm sorry, AOC.
Your time is expired.
Your time is expired.
Is that a taboo buzzer?
Yes, it is.
I know exactly what that is.
All right, Jen, I think I know where you're going to want to go here.
Number 4 for the kill.
Number 4 for the kill.
That's what you want your realtor to say right there. That's what you want Jen Teske to be your realtor.
I'm faster
For
though.
the kill.
And your purse is on the way out the door. So.
Yeah, Jen does need Sarah though. Sarah's a pretty
Don't want to
important
make her
person.
too mad.
All right, well, who's going to be your hitman then?
Let's go with
Hannah?
Annie.
Okay.
Obviously. Let's do it.
Clearly Annie. All
Annie
right,
for the kill.
Annie. The President's State of the Union address will be Tuesday night at 8 o'clock live on 97.1 FM Talk. But it won't look the same as last year. Who will be sitting in the 2 seats behind the president during his address to the nation this year?
I could be Joe Biden. But that's not my
no,
final
sir,
answer.
you sit up here.
Yeah. Nancy Pelosi's clawing her way back up there. That would be the vice president who leads the Senate. Shockingly, Vice President Kamala Harris and the new Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy.
Kamala Harris and Kevin McCarthy
I hope I got that.
for the win or the block here, because it could go either way.
That is correct.
That is correct. That is correct.
Nice.
So you already, oh man.
Look who's the big smack talker
I got-
today. Like,
I believe it's getting chippy up in here.
We gonna play again.
Jen is looking at Sarah the way Annie sometimes looks at me. With that death look.
I would never.
You absolutely dominated this game right out of the gate. So this is a reversal. So now
There are
Sarah-
other wins to have.
Sarah has to come back and try to do what you did last time.
yeah.
There
which
are still
can be done.
tic-tac-toes to be had.
Absolutely there are.
No, we, oh.
No,
Are we-
leave it up
oh,
there.
raise
No,
it?
no, we're still
Oh.
going here.
Okay.
I mean, you can put a no right there. That's
Nope. I like the way it looks.
All right, Sarah's turn.
Sarah, which square do you want to go with?
7.
Okay, square 7.
Bottom
Who is
left.
answering this question for you?
Brad.
Brad, you have given me more mileage out of.
Speakers is vibrating.
It's the
I love
speaker.
this.
It's the speaker series. Brad, Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy has announced who will issue the Republican response to the President's State of the Union on Tuesday, which will be carried live on 97.1 FM Talk.
Oh my gosh.
Who is it that delivers the Republican rebuttal to the State of the Union this year?
So this will be the youngest governor in America, the first female governor of Arkansas, Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
All those facts would be true if you're right, but is he right?
Agree.
Nice.
Sarah's on the board.
You should have said Representative Juan Ciscomani because he is giving the Spanish Republican
Oh, man.
response.
That would have really thrown things off.
I did have to Google that. I knew that there was a Spanish one, but I
Yeah.
didn't know who it was.
I thought it'd be nice to Ryan, not let him squirm.
Really? Did you
Why?
really know the Spanish?
I knew that, yeah, because I pulled audio from McCarthy.
Wow.
Oh
talking
my
about it.
gosh. Okay.
Let's
All
take
right.
a break.
That's a good spot. Let's take a break.
Let's take a break. We're about halfway through the game. Jen Teske and Sarah in here with JenTeskeHomes.com. If you want to learn more about Jen Teske, if you're looking to buy a home or sell a home and you're looking for someone who's going to go out there and get that kill. I don't know if do you have to like trademark that or something?
I may
I
have
think
to
we
do
should.
that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking so.
618-541-1010. 618-541-1010. That's her phone number. Reach out to her and start the conversation now. If any time in the next year you think you want to sell your home or you're looking to buy, I promise you Jen Teske is the one that you've been looking for. Let's take a quick break. More X's and O's when we return. Don't go away.
See the line where the sky meets the sea. It calls.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
No one knows.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
The wind, my sail on the sea stays behind me. One day I'll know. If I go, there's just no telling how far I'll go.
What's it like to go to the South Pole? How do some animals change color? Can you catch a liar?
That's dangerous territory.
Can you trust a gut feeling? What about yawns?
Yes, yawning is contagious.
Mike Simpson here, and on my podcast, I've Got Questions. We go through all these things we're curious about and some stuff you probably don't expect.
Yo, strawberries are not even fruits at all.
So what are they? I've Got Questions. New episodes Thursdays on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
So obviously we have Jen Teske and Sarah in here from Jen Teske Homes to play a game. But one of the reasons why is because we love our partnership with them. Anytime I have the opportunity to put my name beside another winner, I want that opportunity to do that. And Jen Teske is the realtor you've been looking for. She is with Remax Alliance. And on the Illinois side of the river, if you are looking for a home, especially in the Edwardsville, Glen Carbon, Maryville, Troy, and Collinsville areas, you need somebody who understands the market, who understands the inventory, who can get your home sold at top dollar in a fair way to you, that's going to listen to you, but also give you those truths that you need to hear to make sure that you're positioned for the best possible selling experience. If you're looking to buy a home, Jen Teske can help you with that as well. Reach out to her by calling her or texting her at 618-541-1010. That's 618-541-1010. You can also learn all about her on her website by going to jenteskehomes.com.
Have you been lied to by Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine? Hi, this is best-selling author Don Chamberlain from right here in Greater St. Louis, and I want to give you a copy of my new book, Crash Proof Wealth, because according to Time magazine, Wall Street's retirement plans and 401ks and IRAs have failed millions of Americans. After seeing the last market crash over 39%, I had enough. There may be a way to grow your money when the market goes up, potentially double digits in good years, reduce taxes, and have my principal protected if the market declines again. Call Chamberlain Group now to get my free book and talk to me personally to discover the strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose principal if the market declines again. Call 1-800-807-3838 to discover this asset, and I'll even cover shipping and handling. No credit card required. Call 1-800-807-3838. That's 1-800-807-3838. Again, 1-800-807-3838.
Jules on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jules on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jules on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jules on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. That's 314-752-5000. So if you need some extra cash, looking for that one-of-a-kind piece, make Jules on Hampton your first stop. Jules on Hampton in St. Louis Hills.
Just like golf, investing your money can be tricky. Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft here. When market downturns happen, investors are tempted with products that promise to guard against inflationary sand traps. From coins to cryptocurrency and everything in between, always research the investment before you write the check. Visit MissouriProtectsInvestors.com for more information. That's MissouriProtectsInvestors.com.
Paid for by Investor Education and Protection Fund.
Keep it here for the real news. This is St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Mark Cox, Brian Kilmeade, Annie Frey, Mark Reardon, and Dana Lash on 97.1 FM Talk.
The
for the bare necessities.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
And your strife. I mean the bare necessities are Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life wherever I want.
You know, like when I think about it, is this your entire philosophy, Ryan Wiggins?
Mm-hmm.
Are you Baloo?
Nah, kind of. I
He's a little
spell
short for Baloo.
I spell bear differently than he does. Is really the only difference because it's same philosophy. Because I feel like when he sings it, he's just talking about what bears do. Because it's BEAR necessities.
BAR.
BEAR, and I'm talking about
B?
BARE necessities.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but I mean, same general philosophy though.
It's possible that maybe he's singing about both.
I don't think so. I don't think there's any subtlety in what he's saying. I
No,
think he's just
about being a
delivering the
bear.
straight truth.
And honestly,
as a
if you
bear.
were going to sing a song, it would just be about being a bear. There wouldn't be a lot of like long haul to it.
No, I wouldn't want you to overthink it.
That's
Here's what it's like to be a bear. That's the song.
I'm shocked that they don't have you writing for them. and their
Disney
music,
calls,
yeah.
but I don't answer.
All right. Well, let's get back to the game. We have Jen Teske and Sarah in studio with us. JenTeskeHomes.com. If you are interested in selling or buying a home in Illinois and you want the very best, then you go with Jen Teske. It's just that simple. She's with Remax Alliance. JenTeskeHomes.com. 618-541-1010. Call her, text her, tell her Annie said hi, and get your home sold fast. Let's turn it back over. Is it Jen's turn? Is that correct?
It is my turn.
It's Jen's turn.
turn.
She's got a tic-tac-toe, which means that Sarah's got to catch up overall and either get a tic-tac-toe herself or it doesn't matter.
Why can't you
It doesn't
say it
matter.
today?
Get a tic-tac-toe herself.
All right. I'm going to have to go with number 9.
Bottom right.
Yes. And let's go with Ryan for this one.
You can't pick
I-
Ryan.
Oh,
He-
you can't.
he has all the
I would be a great
Never
choice.
mind.
That's
Yeah.
an automatic.
Yeah, can't pick Ryan because he has all the answers.
Brad, Hannah, or me.
They don't call him blonde jokes for nothing. All right. So let's go with Hannah.
Okay.
All right, Hannah, you have.
Tic-tac-toe.
What I have here is a real
Hard to tell.
clip from this week that I have run through AI software. I'm going to play it. You have to tell me who said this.
Name me a time when America's gone through a crunch and didn't come out stronger on the other side than went in.
That is President Joe Biden.
You seem very confident.
Lion, dog, face, pony soldier.
He also said that. I mean, he said that. Did he say this is what I meant to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was Joe.
When has it ever? Name me a time.
Yep.
Name me a time.
Name me a time.
Gone through a crunch and didn't come out stronger on the other side than went in.
That is correct. I'm sorry. I will name you a time, sir. Just give me a second. Stop
Those
yelling at me.
Cabinet meetings are interesting.
He just starts yelling. Somebody name me a time when America's not come through stronger. Somebody do it right now. Name me a time.
That was amazing.
All right. X gets the square. Sarah?
Oh. 1. Top left.
Number one.
For
Who's
the
it?
block.
Annie.
Let's go.
Annie. Joe
the kill.
Manchin.
For the kill.
For the kill.
Joe Manchin and Ted Cruz are not in the same political party. But they are co-sponsoring legislation that would ban Joe Biden from selling oil from the strategic reserves to which foreign nation?
China.
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 Sarah, is it China?
Agree.
Yeah.
That is
nice.
correct.
I didn't know that.
Kill.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's going to be between two countries, either China or Russia. So you took a guess. It was China.
All
All
right.
right.
I got no choice but number 3 for the second win.
For 3 for the second win. Listen to that. Man, for the kill. All right.
Let's go back to Brad.
Brad, you both have sound.
Somebody replaces batteries.
Yeah.
like Steve Martin.
me. This is what happens when the Biden administration gets their way and we're all driving little electric vehicles around. So it just sound like that all the time.
Out of the way.
Sounds really imposing.
I'll drive over you, I promise.
The good news is we'll be able to talk in a regular tone and still hear each other.
No, we will not. I'm proof of that. All right. This is another Stumbled into Sound with a real quote from this week, run through AI software. This is, though, from an Annie Frey Show interview this week.
Oh,
So this is a quote from an interview, not from Annie Frey, but you'll have to tell me which guest said this.
When you don't have a legitimate argument to defend yourself in your actions and your record, you go to this, you play this card, and we see this with the woke all the time. It's the racist system.
There you go.
Ooh, that was a good one.
That is a great question.
And this is Brad's, right? So
Brad's answer.
Okay.
Producer Brad.
That sounds exactly like Tyrus.
That was Tyrus.
Man, you guys are on it. Good
Yeah.
job. Yeah, that was Tyrus.
I love it.
Here's the
Annie
real clip.
Frey Show trivia.
Argument to defend yourself and your actions or your record, you go to this, you play this card. We see this with the woke all the time. It's the racist system.
There you go. That was Tyrus.
Good.
Man,
Enough
you guys
said.
knew it right away. That was good.
I just have to butter you up because I've been on vacation.
Yeah, that's right.
Here come the excuses.
Making Jen Teske feel
She's
good about
letting
herself.
me win. She's letting me get the answers right.
We've got Jen Teske and Sarah in here facing off in X's and O's. There are 2 squares left. There are a few more X's on the board than O's.
And I am off the board.
Okay.
But if we got 2 O's left, it would be almost a tie. I'm trying, Sarah. I'm doing what I can.
Yeah.
Thanks, Annie.
I'm just like really happy you're here. Share this moment together. Yeah.
Sarah, you're doing a great job.
Thank
we
you.
all
Thank
feel
you.
that way.
I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah. We're happy that you are here.
Yeah, we're glad you came back from
Sarah,
Mexico.
which square do you want to go with of the 2?
2. 'cause,
Of
you
the
know.
2, you're picking 2.
2.
All right. And who is answering that for you?
Go with Hannah.
All right, last one.
Hannah, checked bag fees could become a thing of the past if this
Uh-oh.
senator has
Oh, wait,
his way.
Look at the past.
Yeah, just listen. Senator Edward Markey is one of the co-sponsors of a bill titled the Forbidding Airlines from Imposing Ridiculous Fees Act, or FAIR.
I was just going to say, what is that an acronym for?
It's FAIR. I think they tried to stop it at forbidding airlines from imposing ridiculous, but they had to add fees, so it's FAIR.
All right.
FAIR.
Anyway,
Which party is pushing the FARF? Hannah?
They want the fees to end.
Republican or Democrat? And I gave you a name there. Senator Edward Markey is the co-sponsor of the bill. Which party is pushing this?
Republicans?
Republicans.
Agree.
Oh, that's a buzzer.
That's a buzzer. Thank you.
I've been waiting.
Did it change sounds?
She has a better buzzer than me.
Of course, I have a better buzzer than you.
She's got it all, doesn't she? Yeah.
You're welcome, Jen.
I don't like the way you said that. It sounded hurtful.
I don't know why. It wasn't intended to be. Going on vacation with you soon.
Oh.
All
Take
right.
that with you.
Please don't. Oh my God.
Was that ride fun, Annie? Nope, didn't like that one. It was for children.
Next,
Jen.
All right.
For
Number 8
for
for
another
the 3rd kill.
Wow.
I think it's me, right?
It's going to be
You guys are both done. Let's
Is
go.
it? Okay,
Yeah.
here we go.
Let's
We got
go,
a
let's
music
go.
bed for this one. Okay. This is a great one to end on, too.
Okay.
Pull that down a little bit there, because
Maybe all the way.
Spike the Chihuahua's record has been broken. Spike was the oldest living dog, according to the Guinness Book of World Records, and he was 23 years old. Spike is still alive, but a new oldest living dog has been discovered, stealing the title from Spike. Bobby is a mutt who lives in Portugal and is not only
This is going to be like, what's the capital of Missouri?
Not only is he the oldest living dog now, but he's the oldest dog ever. Within 5 years, how old is Bobby? I gave you 5 years there.
5 years is generous.
Isn't it?
That's like a lifetime for dogs.
Isn't it?
29.
29. Jen, agree or disagree? Within 5 years.
I am going to disagree.
Ooh, you are incorrect.
I was in a perfect game.
Annie got very close. The oldest living dog is 30 years old right now.
Wow.
Very good. Wow.
And I used to do the age and weight game at Carowinds Amusement Park, which is like a Six Flags, and I was really good at it. So I'm a little disappointed.
But that
in
was with
myself.
humans, right?
That was yeah.
Just start assessing everything's weight.
Yeah.
Well, okay, turn this darn music off. Gosh.
All right.
Do that for the actual
There we go.
barking dogs. Jen Teske, Sarah, thank you for being in here with us. We appreciate you and your support of the show. We're so grateful for you. If you are interested in buying or selling a home on the Illinois side of the river and you want the power of Jen Teske and her amazing team and RE/MAX Alliance behind your home sale, obviously you do. 618-541-1010. Online at jenteskehomes.com. Little Annie, are you okay with our friend Trisha? When we come back, don't go away.
Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever
You're
I
listening to
wander,
the Annie Frey Show.
Wherever I roam, I couldn't be found off my big home. The
Follow
bees
Annie
are
on Twitter
buzzing in
at
the
Annie
tree
Frey
to
Show.
make some honey just for me. When you look under the rocks and plants and take a glance at the fancy ants, then maybe try a few. The bare necessities of life will come to you. They'll come to you. Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities. That's why a bear can rest at ease with just the bare.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent. But then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel is all conversation-based, so it gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
You'll really see a difference in how you can speak and how conversational you can be in just a few weeks.
Babbel isn't just lessons. You can listen to podcasts, play games, watch videos. You can even take live online classes with a language teacher. There are so many ways to learn with Babbel.
The lessons online and in the app make it easy to learn from pretty much anywhere.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Well, Dr. Ty Parker and Fountains Family Dentistry have customers all over the Metro East and St. Louis area. I am one of them. Sarah, who is just playing X's and O's, is one of them. We all know Dr. Ty Parker, and he is a great guy, and he is a great dentist. He is always, and I can tell you from personal experience, that he has always got the latest and greatest technology. And so he goes to conferences and he goes to seminars and things to always know what's the best way that I can treat patients, what's the quickest way that I can get you done with a procedure if you need one, so that I'm not wasting your time and that you're not wasting your day. You're going to get in there, get out of there fast, and be back on your feet. You know, it used to be you'd take a couple days to get a dental procedure done and get back to normal. That's not the case anymore, especially with Dr. Ty Parker and Fountains Family Dentistry. Not only do they make it easy to visit them, they make it easy to set an appointment. So go to fountainsfamilydentistry.com. You can get their phone number there. You can call them, and they can tell you what's available, or you can put in a request and say, here's when I'm available, and they'll get back to you and let you know what they've got. Do all of that at fountainsfamilydentistry.com.
If you need a new bath or shower in the new year, call my friends at Bath Fitter of St. Louis. Mark Cox here. We love our new shower and tub enclosure. It looks fantastic. No demolition, no mess, and a lifetime guarantee. Right now, they're having a sale for 20% off up to $1,000 or zero interest until 2028. That's 5 years. Call 636-338-1648. That's 636-338-1648. Bath Fitter of St. Louis.
Tony LaRussa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with the winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service offers insulation services. Did you know 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated? Increase your energy savings and comfort with better insulation. For details, visit aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
The weekend has arrived. That means a Reardon Roundtable Friday afternoon. Jane Duker, Chris Goodson, Jeff Smith. Join us at 3.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Be our guest. Be our guest. Put our service to the test. Tie your napkin round your neck, Sherry, and we provide.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
They live to serve. Try the gray stuff. It's delicious. Don't believe me? Ask the dishes. They can sing.
What are you doing? Did you stuff your mouth full of food?
It was peanut butter.
It's peanut butter? You filled your mouth with peanut butter before we're supposed to go back on the air.
I didn't think you'd call me out. I thought I'd have a good 30 seconds, minute.
Gross.
Chew it.
Take your time.
Peanut butter and pretzels. About the
Brad
two
did it
worst
too.
things. Yeah, and I'm fine.
Do you see Brad communicating like an adult on the air
I
right
might
now?
have eaten a few more than he did.
I see. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We appreciate you being here with us. The YouTube live chat poll, which we'll get to at the end of this segment, is which show member would you most enjoy sitting next to on a roller coaster? Hannah, Annie, Ryan, or Brad? We've got Trisha in the studio with us right now. We're going to do Annie, are you okay here in a second? You got an answer to that question?
Ooh, I actually think you.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like you'd be a calming presence on a roller coaster.
Oh, no.
No, am I wrong?
Depends on the roller coaster.
Okay.
What are you getting on a roller coaster to be calm, or are you getting on to have fun?
I mean, I want to have fun, but I share an office with you now, so I'm not going to pick you.
Yeah, that's true. That would be terrible.
I feel like Brad would over-explain the roller coaster.
That is accurate.
You know what kind of hydraulics this sucker has?
Hannah is probably going to shriek a lot. I think Annie's my choice.
You know what I do on a roller coaster? Laugh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like that.
I laugh so much. The more scared I am, the more I'm giggling over there.
My husband actually does that too. We were on Space Mountain of all places, and he was sitting right behind me giggling like a maniac the whole time. I'm like, is he okay?
I don't know why that is my reaction, but when I went to haunted houses in Soulard when I was right after high school or whatever, man, I'm walking. That's the funniest I've ever been in my life. I was so scared. So right before I die, I'm gonna have a great time.
She's really thinking something's funny. Can somebody check her pulse?
Yeah. No, but like the scarier it is, the more I'm laughing. Just laughing as much as I possibly can. Hannah, what about you? What are you like on a roller coaster?
How am I? I am a shrieker for sure. Lots of screaming. When I get scared, I just yell. I'm always like, is this supposed to happen? Blah, blah, blah. But I'm happy.
Well, we're all going to tell you, no, this is not what's supposed to happen. We'll see how it goes from there. Brad?
I'm not a shrieker, but I do like to yell woo a lot.
You're a woo guy.
Like a Ric Flair guy. Woo! Woo!
I just say woo. Woo.
Let's
Oh my.
It's
quite a
I'm
ride.
taking you off the pole. Gross.
It's a gross.
Ooh.
Stop. I'm going to turn off your mic.
What do you
know what I really
do?
do?
Are we talking about the same thing?
Yeah, I'm talking about riding a roller coaster. You know what I
Okay.
really do?
I know.
Is I look. This is that this
You
is
know
true.
that was the intention of the first question, right?
Do you know that this is true? That I just look around to see if everybody's also having as good a time as I am. Wow. Yeah, me too. I know. It's amazing. They built this in 1987. Can you believe that?
If you missed the announcement in the 1 o'clock hour, in honor of the Annie Frey Show's 5th anniversary, we are going to go to Disney World together for 3 days.
There's going to be a lot of that.
And there's going to be a lot of social media video and stuff. The YouTube channel is where we are going to put the majority of it. So go subscribe to the Annie Frey YouTube channel and turn on the notifications. That's a big deal, to turn on the notifications so you know whenever we go live or upload something.
Everybody keeps saying I'm going to fall off the roller coaster.
She's so
Not
tiny.
Ryan. He would be the one to wet his pants. Says Dan. That's not that far off. But I would just be doing so because I was so excited about everybody being there. Oh my gosh!
Excited
pee.
Yeah, excited pee like a dog when a dog sees you,
like a
It's a real
untrained dog, like a puppy.
like a puppy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's exactly what you are.
yeah. You got to let me just walk out right on the porch if I see you, just to make sure everybody stays clean inside.
You're so weird. Let's do Annie. Are you okay?
And now it's time to play Is Annie Okay With This?
All right. Speaking of, if you missed it the first time around, a Dallas biotech company is bringing back the woolly mammoth, and they should be
Sounds
here
like Jurassic World.
in 2027. They've announced a year. They're saying 4 years. The scientists at Colossal claim to have identified mammoth-specific genes, and they built a new embryology lab that can be used to grow the endangered species. The same scientists are working to bring back the dodo bird.
How do you grow it? Do you grow like in parts and then put them together?
Yeah, it's like a puzzle that you would do at Cracker Barrel.
Okay. I didn't do the tea game. I should have done the puzzle because then I could build a extinct animal. I always did the teas.
What?
It's so stupid. Is the question of am I okay with that?
Yes.
Or
Are
is
you
there more?
okay with bringing back extinct
I am
species?
not. My family, as you may remember, last Friday I was not here because like the worst stomach virus ever hit the house, and myself, my son, and my oldest daughter all got it. Everybody else managed to get out unscathed, but we just took the rest of the weekend, kept it at home, relaxed, and we watched all 3 of the Jurassic World movies. That's like the whole thing.
Yeah. It didn't go well.
It
in those
went
movies.
terribly. Is this how we get Chris Pratt?
The other great thing
Just
about
changing
Cracker
my-
Barrel is their hot syrup. Are we really getting woolly mammoths back on the earth, though?
No, because
Yes.
I'm not okay with it.
No,
Oh,
because Annie's
that's
not
right.
okay with it.
Okay,
No.
good.
So no. The answer's no.
No.
Okay, good.
Carry on.
Okay, not okay. All right. So you guys have all been talking about Chat GPT, and apparently the people have heard. The AI powered
Of course they've heard. Everybody's listening.
Right. The AI powered writing tool has now reached 100 million users in only 2 months. That's 4 times faster than TikTok, which took 9 months to hit that mark. I know it's been discussed, but for the sake of this story, Annie, are you okay with Chat GPT's popularity sweeping the globe?
Ban it. Make it go away. No.
Nope.
Not
Hard
a
no.
fan. That's a
Hard
no.
no. I do not
Hard.
like any part of it.
Pass. All right. On to shape-shifting robots.
Yay.
They have arrived and they look like Legos.
Wobots.
Yep.
Wobots.
Researchers have created tiny robots that can melt and reform into their original shape.
Whoa, they're the melty kind.
Yep.
Not the rebuildy kind.
Though they're modeled after sea cucumbers, in solid form, the robots actually look like Lego people. Tiny little Lego men. To accomplish this,
I'll be honest. What are we talking about here?
shape-shifting robots.
So they're
Sea
shape-shifting
cucumbers.
robots. They melt and sea cucumbers.
They are modeled after sea cucumbers.
Uh-huh.
Yep. They are made
Can
out.
sea cucumbers melt themselves down and become other things?
You know, I don't know that. It's just part of the story.
I apologize.
Okay. So
Like for everything?
I-
Or just
yeah.
this?
No, clearly
Finally.
I've set the bar too high
Is this
for
a specific apology?
yeah, about the sea cucumbers. Nothing else.
Okay. To accomplish this feat, engineers at the Chinese University of Hong Kong made their robots out of gallium, a metal with a low melting point and embedded magnetic particles. In a series of tests, the robot could jump up to 20 times its body length, climb walls, solder a circuit board, and escape from a mock prison. Annie, are you okay with shape-shifting robots controlled by the Chinese?
I'm concerned that this is how Joe Biden feels in his like security briefings. 'Cause I like know some of the words that are going on, but I'm now asked to give an answer, and I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention. But it seems as though that the repercussions of me blessing this could be severe.
Yeah, yeah.
Ma-
The balloon is shifting into a plane as we speak.
Yeah, and I'm Joe Biden. I'm like, make it so.
Yeah. Tell me what I'm supposed to think about this, please.
Yes. I am a huge fan of that. Whatever you just said. I don't know.
I tell you what, though, and Brad can testify to this. They shouldn't have built it out of gallium. They should have built it out of adamantium. Am I right, my friend?
Nobody has heard a word.
No.
Of anything today.
Okay. Making a cool X-Men reference that Brad would get.
Oh, Brad got
left
it.
me hanging.
Yes, he did. Should have built it out of vibranium.
Brad's wearing a shirt that's got Chewbacca on it, and someone thought that his shirt was also a shirt with his own face on it.
I've always
That'd
wanted
be
to do
amazing.
I'm like, no, that's Chewie. But anyway.
Thanks, Trisha.
It's a good shirt. Annie, are you okay with Brad's shirt?
Uh-huh. Yes, I am.
Great. Do you want any more?
One more.
Okay.
If I can handle it.
In more sciencey news, a team of physicists.
Yeah, I apologize for asking you questions that you don't know. That's my fault, not yours.
Its words have developed a calculator to
There's a P in front of it, though.
to determine the odds of finding love.
Just like pterodactyl.
Just in time for Valentine's Day. Based off the famous Drake equation used to calculate the possible number of advanced civilizations in the Milky Way galaxy, 2 scientists from the Omni calendar have developed a Drake equation for love calendar. It'll help tell you if you have any chance of finding true love. It'll also tell you if your odds of finding love are higher or lower than the chances of alien life within 100 or 1,000 light years away.
Obvious things that I associate together.
Right.
They shouldn't have used the Drake equation. They should have used adamantium. Am I right? My voice went away.
Okay. This is
My
Annie. Are
voice
you
is left.
okay with it? This is move to Ryan. Are you okay? Are you going to be all right?
There's so much detail in that story. But it comes from Pacificus, so must
I've
be
already
true.
found my true love, so whatever. I don't need that.
So you're okay with everybody else having this love calculator?
A love calculator.
Yep. I think we all just realized what that was about.
Yes. I think that a love calculator would bring the world together. Maybe that's what's on that balloon. It's the love calculator.
That's all China's trying to do.
Bring people
Trying to bring
together.
the love back.
Mm-hmm.
This show on a Friday when you all know you're going to Disney is extra.
Also, my blood sugar's
Friday.
low.
Let's go. The YouTube live chat poll. Hannah, are you prepared to give us some responses and the results here?
I am. The YouTube poll is asking which show member would you most enjoy to sit next to on a roller coaster? Hannah, Annie, Ryan, or Brad? I'll read some comments here. Douglas says, I voted Brad to sit next to on a roller coaster. I feel like he's the least likely to throw up. Drew B says, I voted Annie because her mom skills might be required during or after the ride.
I'm on the real here, Drew. I am looking forward to going and riding all these roller coasters that I have ridden all of them with kids. And there is an extra level of riding to, like you were saying, make you feel good, Trisha, or calm.
Safe. You got to keep a hand on a head.
Yes, you're putting your hand around on the back. If they're sitting behind you, you got another hand back there, and you're just going like back and forth the whole time. I'm looking forward to just being able to enjoy it, not worry about a kid getting off or barfing or something like that, which I've never had happen.
Doug says, Hannah would make it fun. Wiggins would make me think we were going to die. Brad would have no emotion, and Annie would talk and scream too much.
That's what my husband says all the time. Just in general, like at home on Tuesday nights.
Why would I make him think he's going to die? Then I'm just going,
That's
well,
you have on people.
here we are again. Well, I guess we're all going to die.
He's riding the roller coaster, and he's like, you know what? I think I'll jump off. I think this is it.
It'd be real easy for this whole thing to come apart, and then we're all dead. I guess we should just prepare for it ahead of time. Why did we do this?
I can't wait.
Sounds just like me.
Trisha,
Brian's the guy who would see like part of the track dangling and be like, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, that is me.
I know.
Yeah.
I didn't know they put a jump in this ride.
Yeah. Let's go. This would be awesome.
Why'd they stop Expedition Everest at this spot? We could have just jumped it. Or if you know, you know.
Jackie said that she picked Annie for the same reason Trisha did. She would be calm and then laugh.
Lots of laughing.
Mike G said, I chose Hannah for the roller coaster ride. She would take me by the hand and tell me it's going to be a ride, old man.
That sounds like something you do.
It's going to be all right, old man.
It's all right. You can do that for Ryan.
That's what she does every day with Ryan coming into the studio.
Come on, old man. Let's go. Get it moving.
It's all right, old man. You can do it.
I
All
had to
right.
eat sugar-free gummies this morning. It's gonna be all right.
Jimmy asked here real quick. Sorry, Jimmy asked, wasn't there a time at Disney you chewed out some lady or something a long time ago? No, I got chewed out. I got sworn out, and that is also on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Some lady just turned around and started dropping F-bombs in front of me, and I just stood there with my camera because I was trying to video my child who was going in to meet Belle, and this lady just turned around and was not happy with me. It was bizarre.
She was cussing at you?
Yes.
Oh man, I haven't seen this.
Well, she was cussing in general. And I think she was using the F word. And I think I said to her, like, please don't use that language in front of my child. And then she just used it a lot, but at me specifically.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right, here are the results of the YouTube poll. Which show member would you most enjoy sitting next to on a roller coaster? Hannah, Annie, Ryan, or Brad? I finally won a poll.
As you should have.
Now you what? Didn't you win the Who's a Spy?
Oh, yes.
Yep.
I wasn't here for that.
Okay,
Or did she win that one?
I did. I listened to it. 40% of the people said they would want to sit next to me.
Yes, I did.
26%
All right, that
of the
answered that
people
question then.
said they want to sit next to Ryan. 25% of the people said they want to sit next to Annie.
You beat me by 1 point.
Ha ha.
And 9% of the people want to sit next to Brad on a roller coaster.
Awesome.
Brad lost.
Man, I'm the green party of that poll.
I'm sorry, Brad.
Pulling like 9%.
We'll sit next to you, Brad. The Annie Frey show is going to Disney World in the beginning of May for 3 days, 2 nights. We're going Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We'll be back in the studio on Tuesday. Go to the Annie Frey Show YouTube and subscribe. Turn the notifications on so you know when we upload stuff and when we go live. The Mark Rude Show up next.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create